Nick.
Hi, Tice. How are you?
I'm good, man. Welcome to episode 105.
105.
Of Nick Tyson Videotape. We're very glad that you've tuned in for this
Thank
very
you.
special episode. Remember, there are 104 other episodes.
Yeah. Dick Tracy was the last
Dick
one.
Tracy last week.
And I love Dick Tracy.
And we know this. we discussed this for a little
We
while.
did.
But today, we are not discussing Dick Tracy.
No. We're discussing the first of the Spider-Man movies, the 2002 Sam Raimi. It's opening a can of worms.
It is opening a can of worms. We've got, 7 other ones to talk about?
We can talk
At some point in our illustrious career as podcasters, we'll try and catch
We'll definitely
all
do
7 of
three.
them.
I want to hear your vote on 3.
Oh, shit. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
But joining us for this very special episode, we have from the Film Bands podcast, we have Chris Edgerton. Welcome,
Hey,
Chris.
Edge.
Hello.
Or Edge. Welcome, Edge.
It's nice to be
so much
here.
better.
Thanks for coming along, man.
It's my pleasure.
It's really great to have you here.
It
Tell
is.
us a little bit about Film Bands.
Yeah.
Well, and it's essentially what we do in our podcast, because we have a fairly bad tendency to just not go and see movies at the cinema.
Yeah, right. No,
So
I'm with you
essentially
there. I
it's
don't
the-
see as many at the cinema as I should.
It's the podcast for the people who are a year behind the current releases. So we're watching stuff from last year that we missed completely. What did see? You know, there's the occasional nugget in there that I'd seen on the first time around.
Yeah.
Essentially trying to catch up on 2018 and also give a fair and even-handed and not completely arbitrary decision on what is the best movie of the year, according to 3 people who really have no solid grounding in film or know what they're talking about.
Well,
Amazing.
welcome. That's the world of movie podcasting.
It's exactly.
It really is. It really is. What was the last? The last episode was, what was the coupling?
That we released was Infinity War versus Deadpool 2.
Oh,
Which
right.
is unfortunate for the one that won, and I don't want to spoil it.
Oh, right. Tune into Film Bands.
Oh, you'd have
Tune
to.
in-
You'd
tune
have
into
to, because
Film
otherwise,
Bands.
how would you know which
Exactly.
one of those two was better? But it's typically unfortunate that 2 good ones fell on the same week, and one of them just gets left behind.
Yeah.
because it's
Were they the same week? Were they the same week?
they
No.
weren't released the same week, but in terms of like mapping out all of the movies and putting them in pairs, that's how
Right,
they fell.
that's how they fell.
I mean, I twig it a little bit. I cut some ones out so that good stuff falls together.
So it's a bit of a versus kind of
It is.
situation.
It's
every
round
week.
robin, and then at the end of the
right.
year, we'll narrow the half list down to one. We'll have a
one.
battle royale
Excellent.
for the very top spot.
Do you want to give us a little spoiler of what's coming up?
Yeah, for sure. Let me bring up the pairings for what you haven't. How many weeks away will this one be released? So I can tell you what.
Well, this episode will fall in a couple of days. This will be out Friday the
Okay, sweet.
12th.
Sweet. So the one that I've mentioned is definitely going to be the one that is most recent on your list.
Great.
We're doing most recently. We'll be doing Crazy Rich Asians and A Simple Favor.
Oh,
You'll
yeah,
hear next.
right.
Oh, okay.
Venom versus A Star Is Born.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And how good is that? Because you're getting polar opposites.
Yeah,
there.
oh,
yeah,
You're getting
there's some-
polar opposites.
I like the rating systems that
Yeah.
must come out of this.
Yeah, that must be amazing.
Some weird stuff fell together. Aquaman, Bumblebee. I don't know how those two ended up together because they're very similar.
That's awesome.
And Holmes and Watson versus Vice.
Oh.
So two Oscar contenders for sure.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Absolutely.
Where do you sit with just off the cuff? Oh no, I'm not going to even say it because Deadpool 2 and Infinity War. Where are you sitting with that? It's Infinity War was your favorite movie of last
Infinity
year.
War. Infinity War.
Infinity War almost needs to be
Deadpool 2 was
tested
okay.
for. It's great.
It was good.
It's very
I
unfair
liked
to
it.
Deadpool 2 that it had to go up against Infinity War
Yeah.
because Infinity War is so good.
If it did it against Venom, it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Infinity
And
War.
I haven't even seen Venom.
There's not much that would beat Venom. Venom can just go and sit by
No,
itself
in the
somewhere
first
else.
in the first draft of the thing, it was going to be paired up against a movie that I actually thought was exactly the same. Upgrade.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I was really keen to watch those two as a pair, but we just had to cut Upgrade for time.
That'd be hilarious because Tom Hardy and Logan look like brothers.
Yeah.
But
They
this
look
is what I
so much
said.
like brothers.
I thought it was Tom Hardy in both.
Yeah, he really looks like him. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It's the poor man's Tom Hardy.
It's the discount.
No, but he's
Tom
really
Hardy.
good.
He's
No,
alright.
I really like Logan. Oh,
Yeah, he does alright.
Okay,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with being the Audi brand Tom Hardy. you
Yeah,
know?
Audi
Yes,
makes some good stuff.
They do.
They do. Hey, I love Aldi.
Das Hardy, you know, it's still good.
Sure. But we're not doing that. We're talking about Spider-Man.
We will be getting Spider-Man 1 very
Yes.
shortly, but we're going to start by Nick. You're going to tell everybody where they can find our show.
Oh, sure. Thanks for joining in, everyone. Well, you can find us where you find all regular podcasts, which is great. But if you would like to rate, review, star, like, share, all of those things, iTunes is kind of the main one we like.
Yep.
Because you get a lot of feedback from that. But other than that, we're on all the other socials, which is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and we do. Did I miss one? Facebook, Instagram.
No, that's them.
We are on YouTube if you're a YouTube podcast listener, because there are those people.
You can.
out
We
there
like to provide
who
that service.
Exactly.
To the 4 people that have ever
No.
listened to anything.
I looked at one the other day. One has had like 47, and it was just one episode.
yeah,
And I was
so-
like,
okay.
who the hell is listening?
So for some reason, I will tell this story. For some reason, I don't know how the algorithm has worked.
Yeah.
But our episode on The Faculty
That's right. It's the faculty.
has nearly 100 views.
And I'm like, who is listening to the faculty
I
this
don't
much?
know. So somehow that's just popped up in... however, I must have tagged it with something
That's
that's
awesome.
really effective.
Yeah.
Like... Jenna Marbles or something. I must have
like that.
accidentally
Yeah,
tagged her
exactly.
in it.
Yeah.
And suddenly everybody is, it
Or
must
don't
be
vote
popping
Trump 2020 or
up.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Apart from that, we do have a email address if you wish to write us a correspondence, which is nicktysonvideotape@gmail.com. I spell Nick, N-I-C, and Tyson's T-Y-S.
And do not forget our Letterboxd account.
Oh, Letterboxd. Edge, you're all over the Letterboxd,
I
aren't
love
you?
Letterboxd. I'm living for it at the moment.
Oh, we introduced Edge to Letterboxd, I believe.
Wonderful.
And he's loving every minute of it. It's great, isn't it? It's such a good app.
It's such a good app. It's well made. It does exactly what it's supposed to do.
Exactly.
And it doesn't have loads of the other stuff that I find social media annoying for.
Exactly. It's not a lot of filler. I'm kind of finding myself looking at the bottom of that articles section and having a look through those because they're kind of nice as well.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. But apart from that, it's just fun to watch. We'll see what people are watching.
And then
That's
just
it.
bail me up later about it in person. That's my favourite thing.
Well, that's what it's good for, isn't
It's
it? You
so
see a
good,
rating,
yeah.
and then the next time you see
Exactly.
that person, you're like, hey, what the fuck?
This is outrageous.
Beeline for Edge the other day and went, are you kidding me?
Yeah, Black Klansman. I really
Black
copped
Klansman?
it
5 stars?
for over
All right.
It's a perfect film. No,
I did have to take a star off. I took a star. I calmed down. I took a
It
star
was in
off.
effect. Yeah, see, that's the thing. You kind of have to wait.
It's
and just you know,
it is.
sit
I
with
was
it.
very affected by the film, and then I think I rated it higher, perhaps than when I let it sit. I still think it's good. I still left it with 4.
Hey, man, that's straight off the bat reaction sometimes.
Sometimes your gut is.
Yeah, but my gut is always wrong. I came out of
Yeah.
Doctor Strange and went, wow, that fucking sucked. And then
Yeah,
I
your
watched
gut's
it.
terrible.
And then I watched it again and went, that was really good. What was I thinking of?
In terms of
Like,
freestanding
what
ones,
I
it's one of
see.
the best.
What's that movie where the line is, yeah, but my gut's full of shit? What's that from? Someone says, use your gut, and he's like, yeah, my gut's full of shit.
I have no idea. We're going to look
Listeners.
We're going to tune in. No.
Please tell us.
Email us.
But while we do that, you can find me on Letterboxd under Tice Videotape. You can find Nick under
Nick Videotape.
an Edge.
Edge.
Edge NZ.
Edge NZ.
There you go.
Because
So
our
track's all
man
down.
Edge
Follow
is
us
from New
there.
Zealand.
You can find out what we're watching, what we're giving high ratings to, low ratings to, and maybe you'll kind of get yourself a little bit of a sneak peek of what we're going to be doing on the show.
That's true.
Because if you happen to be a bit of a detective and see that we've both watched the same movie, it might be a dead giveaway.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, I'm always spoiling our podcast by rating them the second I watch them, and then the episodes come out 4 weeks later. And
Exactly.
you already know
You
that
already
Black
know what's
Klansman
going
is
on.
better than Christopher Robin or whatever.
Oh. Yeah.
Chris Robin's good.
It looks good.
Again, it was unfair. Just got spurned by the
By the
unfortunate
week.
causality.
Yeah, it's fair deal. Yeah.
So, well, why don't we start the show as we always do, Nicholas?
Let's watch some trailers, Tyson.
Everybody's talking trailers. It's windy out.
It is. Did you hear that?
I reckon we might have heard some of that.
Yeah.
Awesome. What should we talk about first?
I don't mind. Which one should we talk first?
Edge, you're the guest.
Well,
Milan.
Mulan, right?
Yeah, Milan.
Let's talk about Mulan.
Okay, Milan.
We have excellent news. The matchmaker has found you an auspicious match.
It is decided. Come and sit down. It is what is best for our family.
Yes, I will bring honor to us all.
Quiet. Composed. Graceful. Disciplined. These are the qualities we see in a good wife. These are the qualities we see in Mulan.
It is my duty to fight.
Edge, why don't you go first?
Okay.
Right?
We just watched it, Nick.
We did, yes.
I was kind of like, it seems good,
It does.
but it strikes me as way more serious,
Yeah,
and kind of dour than I remember this animated film. There were songs, were there not? In the original,
There were songs. There were
There were definitely songs.
There were definitely
Word on the
songs.
street is the songs will not be included.
no songs.
No songs.
So what apparently is that the score will feature like instrumental versions
Okay.
of the popular songs.
Okay,
But yeah, as far as I know, nobody's singing.
different move.
Look, to be honest, it's out of all the stories that are being told in this Disney live action thing that they're doing.
Yep.
We've had Beauty and the Beast, we've had Jungle Book, we've had Little Mermaid's being cast as we speak.
Yep.
Cinderella.
Exactly. You've got all of these different ones. The one with the one with the actual
Story.
relevant story that has some guts and meaning to it is Mulan. And yeah, so
it's kind of like if you
maybe
did
it's the one to take-
Pocahontas, it would end up like
Yeah.
that's a hard one to do because you end up doing like the John Adams. It's basically the New World,
Exactly.
like Terrence
Yeah.
Malick's movie.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
didn't
the
see
same
it. I
thing.
heard it was
Like
good. Terrence Malick? No one saw it.
I'm a Malick fan.
You're a
yeah.
Malick fan. Did you
Yeah.
see it though? Was it good?
Yeah. Yes. It's one of those ones that I'm fairly certain I've seen, but Malick films are always kind of this kind of they just
blur.
wash
It's a
over you
wave.
and.
And on a 0 to Terrence Malick scale, is it weirder than Tree of Life?
Oh no, it's
Okay.
it's back from Tree of Life. It's his middle patch where he
Okay.
was making kind of like coherent.
Because Tree of Life was a lot.
It was.
It was
I
just a lot.
love Tree of Life.
I need to rewatch it. I think it's one of those ones where
I
on the rewatch I might not
saw
be
it.
so
I saw it
weirded
at the
out.
cinema and I fell asleep 15 minutes in. And,
Oh, it
and-
lulls you
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah. It was a fucking screensaver at the start for crying out
Yeah,
loud.
it was a bit.
And my wife turned to me and went, "It's 15 minutes into the movie." I went, "Right, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Let's
Focus up.
pay attention."
Let's go.
Because I knew it was long.
We've got an important movie
but
to watch. Saying
Mulan
real
is-
shit.
Exactly. But Mulan is it's a serious tone. So it's it's not Will Smith coming out looking blue. It's a serious tale to
Yeah,
tell.
look, it's obviously a really. Is it a true story?
I have no idea.
Neither. I have no idea.
This is the quality insights you get on Nick Tyson Videotape.
Great podcast
We always
we
do
have.
some serious research, but obviously because it's an interesting choice for him to do that one because I don't think as far as like popularity of the Disney films goes,
Oh,
it
no.
doesn't feel like one of their like marquee big time releases. It was in that patch where we all were aware that they were just falling off a little bit.
Yeah, but there are major fans of Mulan. And,
There are,
and
definitely.
Emperor's New Groove. I don't know how everyone loves that.
That's fun.
Is it?
Yeah, but it's not the same as the other ones, but it's
Yeah.
just a good fun movie. Yeah, but they've always got fans. Like people, there are fans of Hercules. Hercules is fine.
I love Hercules.
There you go.
Hercules is up there in my top 3.
Speaking of Pocahontas, that's another one that's like it's not from that golden era, that 10-year patch where it was just all
Yeah.
spectacular, but people love it.
That's true.
Mulan, I always thought, it kind of fell in that category. So it's a weird choice because I think they've been so far they've been real heavy hitters, and
Yeah.
this feels like the first one that isn't quite.
Well, the fact that they're doing this, I can't wait for Hunchback and Hercules.
Oh, Hunchback. I didn't even think
Hunchback's
about
my
that.
favorite.
Yeah.
I want Hunchback.
Hunchback
Can
is
you
up
do
there for
Hunchback
me.
now? Are you walking a weird line with
You just can't.
like,
you can't have the
characterizing?
gargoyles.
I wasn't even thinking about the gargoyles.
They've got to go.
No, what are you kidding me? No.
Yeah.
If you can stick, no. If you're having a genie come out of a lamp, no. Come on.
It sounds like the dragon from Mulan might be getting the cut.
Yeah.
clearly.
If they're going
No
serious,
Mushu.
no songs.
Even like a little bit, she'll
Well,
probably have like a small tat.
The
like
funny,
a red
there
dragon.
already is a
Or
live
just a lizard.
adaptation, a live action Mulan. There already is one. It's like
Yeah.
produced in
Yeah,
Japan.
It's Hong Kong cinema. I think it's Hong Kong
Okay.
cinema. Yeah.
Because a quick Google search did bring up it is based on a real legend,
Right,
Oh,
there you
real
go.
Chinese legend. So
There you go.
Nice.
So if essentially Disney's just making another live action adaptation of this story that already has a live action movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that I feel like this is when Disney needed to have what we were talking about last week. This is when they need to bring back Buena Vista or Touchstone, like their adult
their adult section
kind of production house that they would give these kind of movies to and say, look, we want to make it, but we don't want to release it under Disney because that's, we've got our own thing going on.
I agree with you. And it would have been better kind of had they doing that, especially because they do go to war and there's quite a lot of killing in this because she does go to war and there's a big battle. But having it, tone it down a bit, make it PG. It's a good story for the young girls who are going to see this thing and give them, because, giving them a movie that they can hold the reins to, because this is essentially, not if they're not into superheroes, Captain Marvel didn't do anything for them.
Correct.
Mulan is the one that's going to maybe harness those reins.
Yeah, she's a badass warrior.
Exactly.
She's not superhuman.
She's not a superhero. Yeah.
It looks pretty great though. Like,
it does look good.
The
It looks like an
cinematography looks
epic
stunning.
movie, though. It doesn't look like a Disney movie to me.
There's a really old movie, and the guy has a sword. Is it Hero? Am I thinking of Hero?
The Jet Li movie.
Yeah.
Zhang Yimou. Is that how you pronounce the director's name? Yang
I have no
Yimou.
idea.
Directed Hero, House of Flying Daggers, Curse of the Red Lantern. No, Curse of the
Red Lantern.
Jade Lantern.
Curse of the Green Lantern.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going full circle. We're back in superheroes.
What else? And he's got a new movie. Oh, The Great Wall. Directed The Great Wall. That
The
Matt Damon
Great
thing.
Wall.
Yes, the Matt Damon video.
And he's got a movie coming out this year that was apparently like people are going nuts for. But it's funny that you mentioned that, because I did think that.
Do you want that pillow?
No, do I look like I'm like...
No, it looks like you're uncomfortable.
No, I'm quite comfortable. I appreciate your hospitality,
Just
though.
making sure. Just making
we
sure.
like to look after, I guess.
We do. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, I've got to find this. I've got to find the fucking name of this movie. 'Cause-
Why did you bring up Hero Edge?
Just a vibe.
No,
Just
I
the
was
vibe of the thing.
100% on board, because that's what I thought it looked like when I saw the trailer as well.
Certainly when she's training and she's doing her sort of her martial arts, and then also training with the other soldiers, that to me vibed Hero for some reason. Even though I didn't see Hero's full cinematic release, just the trailer.
Yeah.
It was just a vibe. It was
It
the vibe of the thing.
It was.
Curse of the Golden Flower.
Aha! We
got
were
there.
very near
You
it.
were there. It was
I just-
adjective noun.
Yeah, Curse of the
Curse of the
Coloured.
coloured
Curse of the
objects.
Something. Yeah, we got there.
But he's got a movie out this year called Shadow, which is apparently like knocking people's asses out. So,
okay.
I will be very much looking forward to seeing that.
All right. Well, have you seen, since we're bringing it up, have you seen any of the live action Disney's Edge?
No.
No.
See, my wife was outraged, incensed, in
Right.
fact, that I hadn't seen Beauty and the Beast, the live action. So she said, we must sit down and we must watch this. And I
The
said,
live action, not the cartoon.
well, this is the thing. This is
Okay.
where it gets awkward.
Right.
I said to her, is it going to matter? Am I going to miss anything if I haven't seen the cartoon original?
Oh,
And then her incense just through the roof.
that is divorce.
We went to
That is strike one.
fully flabbergasted at that point,
Wow.
and we just almost sat down then and turned it on. There was no more talking.
That's amazing. That Beauty and the Beast is the first movie I saw at IMAX.
The original,
I saw that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know,
Remember
Max.
when that came out?
That was. I want to say 2001. I want to say maybe 2000.
Yes.
Maybe 2000.
Maybe 2000. No, I'm thinking 2002. Either
Oh, yeah.
2001, 2002.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, what a
Yeah.
good year for films.
Oh, amazing.
2002.
Speaking
Very
of,
funny.
we'll get there.
Very good.
But I'm keen for this.
You're keen for this?
Yeah, I think I'm back on some of these remakes.
Yeah, and no one's seen Aladdin here?
I'm never going to see that.
I think you should.
I'm okay.
I think someone
I'm
should write in
really-
and tell us to do it.
I think I'm in a unique position with Aladdin. I can watch it
Mm.
and then watch the original and do it backwards without having... Because for some reason I've just missed Disney.
At least the
Wow.
cartoon's short. You'd
Exactly.
be able to do it straight afterwards.
If the cartoon is leagues better, then it just gets better for me.
It's true. Can't go downhill.
No.
Fair deal.
Apparently,
Good
The
point.
Lion King is great.
Well,
I'm
that's a
getting
really-
really good,
yeah, I've
hearing
heard-
really good original,
Yeah.
first look feedback.
So hang on a minute. You haven't done any of the originals.
For some reason I just have missed...
So that's great. So I would watch the live action and then go back and,
Correct.
and make them amazing.
Exactly.
Why
Yeah.
not?
Lion King is the only one that I think that is going to outdo or become level with.
In terms of box office, Cinderella cleaned up.
Yes.
They made a gargantuan amount of money.
Yeah, so did Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast, I think, is the most successful one they've had so far
Wow.
of the remakes.
It was third of that year, I
Yeah.
think. Or first of that year.
I think it might have been first.
Yeah.
Am I wrong
That's
in thinking...
hilarious. That's a
Cinderella
lot of
did
money.
well.
Am I wrong in thinking Cinderella was also John Favreau?
I don't know.
No,
I
it was
remember
Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh. Okay.
Favreau did Jungle Book. Jungle Book
That's
was
what
Jungle Book
successful,
was good. Yeah.
but I'm fairly certain Lion King is just going to.
Blow everyone out.
I
of the
think
water.
it's
Well, that's
going to
because of
be-
the cast. As
But there's,
well.
but
Like,
also
this
there's
is
ridiculous.
nostalgia doll that's just sitting on the table. Even I've seen The Lion King.
Yeah. Yeah, see, there you go.
Um,
Yeah. And that's the thing, it is. It's nostalgia dollars.
Absolutely.
Like you said, Tice, there is. You saw that as soon as that it hit with that first
Yep.
trailer, you were sold. The ticket was bought.
Yeah,
right then and
100%.
there. Like, no way.
Oh, there was
it gonna
no
happen.
doubt in my mind I'd be seeing this movie.
Exactly. That's the thing. With some movies, I guarantee everyone's had this conversation where somebody will say to them, "Yeah, I've seen the trailer. Looks terrible, but I'm still going to see it."
Oh,
Some tickets are sold
100%.
before, regardless
Out
of trailer
Out of
quality,
that. Yeah, 100%.
and regardless of film quality.
It's-
Some films are just going to make money and be bad.
No,
like to say that- I like
sometimes
to-
because they are bad that I decide I'm going to see them.
You're sick. You need help. Sea Kelp.
And yet Citizen Kane sits on my shelf,
Collecting
remains
dust again.
unwatched.
Oh my god, that's so good. I do that with directors. There aren't particular movies, but if a director comes out and goes, "Yeah, sure," the ticket is sold. Yeah. Shall we move on?
Yeah, we really extensively covered that one. I think.
This is what's going to happen. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
This is kind of my brand, tangents.
Yeah, exactly.
Tangent
it's good.
train.
I like it.
Next one, Nicholas.
Oh, is this now? Brace yourselves.
Damn it.
That's a nice looking car.
Yeah, thanks.
Back in the day, the girls loved it. Turn it over.
How the hell did you do that?
I designed it.
You're John DeLorean, aren't you? Shakespeare writes a play, he at least gets to put his name on it.
Well, I might do that yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, the most successful auto executive in living memory, Mr. John DeLorean.
It is my great pleasure to present to you the DeLorean motor car.
It's like science fiction or something.
It's the future. I've hit a cash flow problem. I need to raise $30 million in the next 10 days. Can you help me, Jim?
One thing I've learned is that there is a deal to be made, always.
That husband of yours is quite the charmer. Only until you get to know him. What is that?
What is going on?
I work for the FBI.
You're in the FBI.
You know, like a spy.
You're a spy.
They would classify me as an informant.
You work with us on this, we bring him in, you go free.
John DeLorean, 30 million, cocaine. Check. Hi, I was looking for John.
Who wants to know?
Check.
What's that?
Check. Please go check. Yeah, thank you.
You're moments away from being a very rich man.
You owe us. We don't owe you.
I will be remembered. My car will be remembered.
John is your friend.
Don't do this, John.
History is written by the victors.
John, what are you doing?
Drive the DeLorean and live the dream.
If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for?
Special agent in charge. I like that. And I really like your suit. You look great. You're the best dressed guy here. You know that.
So, we have a bit of a twin movies situation, Nick.
Yeah, we have
See episode, like, really early days.
It was like 20 or
maybe
25.
even less than that.
Really?
I think it might be in the teens.
We did an episode, Edge, where we talked about the twin movies that came out. Armageddon, Deep Impact, Volcano,
Dante's Peak.
Yeah.
And that was something we basically wanted to talk about before we even started recording the show. We were like, we have to do an episode on this.
Twins, yeah.
So when they pop up, I'm always very excited.
It's so funny that this happens, though.
Is it the same reason that you get Facebook ads or Instagram ads for something you were talking about the day before?
Just somewhere in the cosmos, someone's
I just think it's inspiration. You're thinking about it and therefore talking about it because something has inspired you for the same reason that they think you'll probably be interested in this again. It's just the year of John DeLorean, you know?
I think maybe it could have. If you think about so we had maybe like 3 years ago, we had kind of that influx of Back to the Future nostalgia because of the anniversary. Well, there was the 30th anniversary in 2014. That's a bit early.
Yeah.
But we had the date that he travelled to.
Yep. October 21st, 2015.
Yeah, so we had that as well. And so DeLoreans were there was that Out of Time documentary, which was quite good.
Yep. It's
Back to the Future was in the kind of the public consciousness. It makes sense that two producers
Nike
at the same time.
did the sneakers.
There you go. They tried to do that. What was the other?
Hoverboards became a thing again, even though
they have fucking wheels.
Well, it doesn't make sense even in the Back to the Future universe. But just because Back to the Future is cool, we want them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's very true.
So maybe just two different.
Pepsi Perfect. Have I told you about my Pepsi Perfect thing? Fucking hell! It shat me. Like losing out on a marketing, like really shat the bed there, Pepsi. Like if you were to sell a Pepsi Perfect, there are so many. Was that me? There are so many people who would have wanted that. Are you telling me I'm wrong?
No, you're 100% correct.
100%. Put it in the middle of...
It's a trailer thing. Even if it's bad, I'm going to try it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so maybe just because of all that nonsense, collectively two different people said, hey, you know what the story hasn't been told? The guy that made the fucking car. And now we have two movies.
And it's not as if it's a boring story either.
Apparently not. Apparently he's a fucking wild unit.
Exactly.
So imagine if these people sat down and went, "Oh, what can we do with the car? Let's have a look," and then just went and Wikipedia'd John DeLorean, and they went, "Oh,
they gave his name a Googs and went, what the fuck?
How has nobody made a movie out of this?"
Exactly. Yeah, because it has to do with like the FBI. It has to do with him losing a bunch of money. How the car is not made well at all.
Yep.
Yeah.
And mostly
in saying that,
finding out just what kind of person he was and how, like, just this really weird character. Yeah. And I will say I'm probably more interested in the way the other one is being presented, just because I think they're attacking it with a really kind of clever angle as well by trying to do that doco / biopic / kind of behind the scenes thing all in one.
It looked really good, didn't it?
Which I think is a really clever way to go about it. But this looked all right.
This is taking it and kind of poking fun because the story is hilarious. So
it's absurd
because you've got Jason Sudeikis in there. It gives a little bit of a comedy flavour.
Yep.
So yes, you'll have some funny moments.
Oh yeah, and he's obviously going to play into that guy completely in over his head vibe, which he just kind of does naturally. I feel like that's one of his strong points.
It is. It's one of his skills is playing that guy.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Ed Helms.
Yeah, exactly.
They're brothers. I always get them confused.
Yeah. If it wasn't for The Office, I think.
Oh, sure.
And you haven't seen it. That's the thing.
I haven't.
That's why you can't tell them apart.
Exactly. And then we have Lee Pace, which is an odd casting choice, but looks pretty great.
Where do I know Lee Pace from?
Ronan the Accuser.
Ronan the Accuser.
No way.
Yeah.
He's
I know him from The Fall. The Fall is a beautiful movie that I randomly saw. You know how you see a trailer
yes, of course.
and you go, "What the hell is this?" Came out 2008, made by Tarsem Singh, who is actually a photographer. So he is visually absolutely stunning. No, you were right, spot on. His name, he lengthened his name to Tarsem Singh. He goes by Tarsem. But yeah. Beautiful.
Directed The Cell, the J-Lo thriller.
The Cell. But, Vincent D'Onofrio?
That's one.
My sister's favourite movie, apparently, when I was a kid.
Yep.
I don't know why that's in there.
That movie's fucked up.
Good. Yeah, The Cell, The Langoliers, all this weird shit she was watching when I was a little kid.
Twice in... What is it, 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
I'm sure you guys have brought it up on at least one other occasion. You brought up Constantine 2005 and the Langoliers, and I've screamed at my car radio. They weren't a dream! They really happened.
I'm telling you.
Also, Immortals. Does anyone like Immortals?
I
like
have
Immortals.
your copy and I will watch it, especially because I do. It's because it's Tarzim and because it's Henry Cavill.
I'm going to put that in my little database of
course.
rentals.
Hey, it's in my section over there saying I have borrowed of people. Right over there.
Nice.
Yeah, I have that section.
I have a Hessian bag for that, and that goes with me everywhere.
And then if it doesn't work, you just fill it with rocks. And
Exactly. And then I hit the road.
All right.
Because things aren't working out.
Exactly. But, how did we get on to... Oh, Lee Pace. So that's where I know him from, yes. And obviously, Ronan the Accuser.
One of the Hobbit elves?
He was one of the elves in The Hobbit?
Yeah, like one of the main ones.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy who rides an elk?
Maybe.
That guy?
I haven't seen The Hobbit.
Kind of the Elrond
Have you
of that
seen The Hobbit?
Yes, the Elrond of that series. Yes, you're right.
The Elrond of that series.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah. He was all over the posters.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Important, but doesn't do anything. Yeah.
Like, literally does nothing.
He does nothing. In fact, if anything... stymies the progress.
Yeah, turns up in the third one and just kind of fucks it up.
Correct.
Yeah, but what did Hugo do in the other three?
Hugo's
He's a sword.
Hugo's big deal, man.
He's a big deal.
Yeah, he is a big deal.
He's a good guy, but he kind of just...
He did stuff at the start.
He's elvish, so he's kind of slow to move, but he's good. And he's a big deal in the old part, right?
Yeah, he was a big part in the old part. Yeah.
Correct, in the original
With the
war.
ring.
Yeah, he wanted to stop.
Throw it into the fire.
That's it.
That was the line.
Yes.
No, sorry, the line is cast it. Cast it into the fire. Yeah. So good.
Isildur?
Fuck, let's do that.
Isildur, that's it.
My brain was racking trying to remember that guy's name.
Because I know they are so high in your list of favourite movies.
Lord of the Rings, the original trilogy, bangers.
Yeah.
One
we
and
have
all.
to do them
The
soon.
Hobbit,
we have to do at least
stinkers, one and all.
Really? Stinkers, one and all?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I say that having only seen two.
Oh.
2 of 3.
I thought you meant only two, the middle one.
No. I've seen the first one a couple of times, the second one once, and I stopped.
Third one is the worst of the 3.
That's common for trilogies.
Yeah, but it does have...
That's not true.
That is common for trilogies. There's not as many Star Wars original trilogies as you would think. There's a lot more Matrix Revolutions than...
or Spider-Man 3.
Oh, who knows? Who knows? It's only the most successful grossing Spider-Man film of all time.
God. We're going up against the heavy hitter.
I'm not here to defend Spider-Man 3.
But yeah, so I'm pretty keen to...
I'm definitely keen.
Well, I think this might be a fun little thing to revisit maybe later in the year, Nick, if we get around to watching both of these, is to kind of do a little comparison and see which one we thought
kind of do
we
a little
liked better.
film bands thing.
Just watch both.
Yeah, because
Soak it all up and pick a winner.
we don't get that often anymore.
No.
And I think we should just get all over it. If it ever happens again...
Jump on it.
Jump
We have
on
to
it
watch
straight
both
away.
of
Beautiful
those.
serendipity to the fact
Yeah.
that you have your choice of John DeLorean film to see at the cinema. How weird is that?
I'm fairly certain that we'll get neither of them in a cinema here.
What about
Not in
Europa?
Australia.
Could go to Europa.
Good old
true.
Europa.
No, come on. Nova might play
Perks of being a
the other
wallflower?
one. Not
Nova will
this
play
one.
the other one. I won't play this one.
won't play this one.
Because this one's going straight to digital the same day it goes into cinemas in the States. So
Okay.
we could literally
You
rent
can literally film bad said literally just stream it at home and then talk
Exactly.
about it
It's
that
perfect
night.
for you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There you go.
No one has to get off a couch.
No,
So
we'll
nice.
have to wait till next year though. That's the rules.
Exactly.
You're doing that. Are you watching any movies of this year?
If I'm super keen,
Okay.
yeah, like I saw
Yeah.
Captain Marvel and Endgame.
Lovely.
I'll see
And
Far From Home, absolutely.
Yeah.
But we'll watch it again for next year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it is nice when something is low key, and I can sort of be like, yeah, I'll get to it. I'll have to.
Yeah.
That's it.
Nice.
I don't know. I feel like we're selling these trailers short this week, but I'm keen to move on to the other two hour.
Someone was short. I love that. That was good.
Mine
Yeah,
was
no.
good. John DeLorean was okay.
We're here with tangents, and I'm on board for it.
I like the casting. I really dig Lee Pace.
I like Lee
I
Pace.
him.
I like Judy
him a
Greer.
lot.
Judy, yeah.
Judy Greer. I'm neither here nor there on Judy Greer.
Oh, it's a shame.
Yeah, she kind of... Do you know what it is? She got really annoying in Archer, and now I can't take it.
Which voice does she do in Archer?
She does the Cheryl. She's Cheryl.
Oh, she?
Yeah.
The other woman.
Yeah.
The Tunt. She has the mansion with the fucking what is the tiger that keeps pissing all over Archer? No one with me here. And moving on.
My Archer days are well behind me.
I think I've watched the first season or two. Maybe.
I don't think I'll be returning.
And moving on.
Moving on.
Right.
Should we just get onto our feature press?
Feature press.
Let's do it.
And now for our feature presentation.
Who am I? You sure you want to know? If somebody told you I was just your average, ordinary guy, not a care in the world, somebody lied. Truth is, it wasn't always like this. There was a time when life was a lot less complicated. Can I take your picture for the school paper?
Sure. In this lab, we have 15 genetically enhanced super spiders.
There's 14. One's missing.
Peter, are you alright?
I'm fine.
Pete, look, you're changing. I know I'm going to do exactly the same thing at your age.
No, not exactly.
Wow.
Peter, may I introduce my father, Norman Osborn?
Great honor to meet you, sir.
Harry tells me you're quite the science whiz. You know, I'm something of a scientist myself.
What the hell was that? Whatever it is, somebody has to stop it.
With great power comes great responsibility.
This is my gift.
Wow.
It is my curse.
Who are you?
Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
Do I get to say thank you this time?
You do too much. You're not Superman, you know.
Spider-Man.
Does whatever a Spider-Man does.
I've been singing this for like a full week.
Can he swing?
Especially because...
From a web.
So, full disclosure, I've seen Far From Home.
Oh, have you?
Yes.
Cool.
Before that, I watched Homecoming. And
Very
then
good.
after Far From Home,
Sorry about that.
I watched this, 2002 Sam Raimi.
Right, so you've been
Okay.
like Spider-Manning it up.
But that's not, I'm not Spider-Manning it up. Edge, what have you watched in the last couple of days?
So, because I knew I was coming on, I refrained from watching Spider-Man maybe a week or two ago when I had the itch.
Sure.
So I watched Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Oh, you watched Spider-Man 2? Yeah.
Because why wouldn't I?
Sure.
And then for this week, I watched Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then I had more time.
Yeah.
So I watched Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh,
yeah.
Homecoming.
How unfortunate.
Spider-Verse.
Right.
And Spider-Man 2 again. So really,
Good Lord.
just the full deli meat selection.
Yeah,
One of each.
You've had a taste.
You've got a range of Spider-Man.
Flavors.
Yeah, exactly.
Range of Peter
Exactly.
Parkers and Miles Morales.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
Love Miles.
So you're well and truly kind of...
I'm a
it's
Spider
good.
fan.
You're a Spider-Man?
Yeah, I mean,
Did you read
that seems
Spider-Man?
obvious.
A little. I didn't read tons of comics as a kid. They
Yeah.
kind of were. They're kind of an expensive hobby.
Yeah.
It's so. I definitely anytime I could pick up a comic at a second hand, like a garage sale or something, I would. And I've got a few Spider-Mans from then.
Mm-hmm.
But not exclusively. I watched the TV shows. The Amazing Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man.
So there was a
Sensational
good
Spider-Man.
cartoon, wasn't there? There was a really good
There
cartoon.
was a really good cartoon, and there was a really weird cartoon where it was on like Counter Earth, and he had a different costume, and there were the high evolutionary,
No, I
and
remember that
different
too.
animal people.
We used to sell them on DVD. I remember.
Really?
So yeah, I remember in the
I remember the 60s one.
TV
with the
cartoon
shit.
section of JB Hi-Fi.
Yeah.
They were well and truly stocked.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then one of the thing with the Spider-Man cartoons, a lot of them I think do interconnect. So they don't necessarily say this is for sure a sequel to that one,
Right.
But kind of work in a loose
Okay.
continuity sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like the Batman animated through Justice League Unlimited kind of situation.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though those are all officially in canon,
Yeah, they
connected
are, yeah.
to one another.
Wild. So good. So in that case, then you've had your range of tastes.
I have.
again. You've said already that you are highly passionate about this movie.
I am.
Is this
I am.
still
I
your
stand.
favourite
It's
iteration
gotta
of
be.
Spider-Man? It doesn't have to be a favourite movie, but is that universe your favourite?
I think the
universe of
Raimi
Spider-Man?
Spider-Mans make for a better Spider universe that I prefer, except for maybe of Spider-Verse. But I could definitely make a case that they are trying really hard to tie that to the Raimi ones.
Well, there are obvious.
The fact that
If you
Aunt
watch
May's
Spider-Verse,
house looks the same.
Yeah, and there's a shot of of Peter going
Yep.
down the street doing
So both
finger
Peter
guns.
B and
so
Peter...
there is that in Spider-Verse.
Yes,
yeah.
they do the train thing. They do a
the train
direct
thing.
thing of the train thing from
Exactly.
Spider-Man 2. The thing where the car comes to the restaurant and him and Mary Jane are there, even though
Pulls it.
he
That doesn't
saves
just do
her
it.
in Spider-Man 2 and he punches it out of the way in Spider-Man. Because Chris Pine's Spider-Man in Spider-Verse is like Peter Perfect, you know.
He is.
Yeah, I think that the Raimi Spider-Men, I would say I love those movies the most.
Yeah, right.
Of the Spider movies.
Are you saying how?
No, I said wow.
Oh,
As in like a very,
like an Owen Wilson. Wow.
That's literally what I was doing.
Wow.
I think at one time or another I would have agreed with you. I remember really liking these movies.
Oh, I this was on a rotation. I was
Yeah.
still at the video store when I bought this DVD, and it just got played.
I used to love these movies.
It was this,
even the
and
third one.
and the first.
The third one is troubled. And I think there's no getting away from the fact that it's troubled. It's easily the worst of the three.
It's
no,
up there
no one
with-
is
it's up there
questioning
with
that.
Batman and Robin for me. It really is.
Really? I think it's more like Batman Forever. I think you're being too harsh on it.
No, I definitely. Maybe I am. Okay, yeah, sure. Really?
Yeah, I
Okay,
really love it. I mean,
okay.
Tom
But
Holland is great.
But you're right. There was a time, and this is why, especially watching it this time, Sam Raimi's 2002 Spider-Man is the reason that we have what we have now.
I think so. I think we owe it a lot. It might be too far to say that everything we have now, the MCU has Spider-Man to thank, but
this took it to the next level.
It did.
This was before Batman Begins.
This is before Batman Begins, before Iron Man.
And this still has kind of a little bit of a flavour of Batman and Robin. Like
it does. There's some cheese.
There's
some cheese.
And there's some toy, we'll put this in, it'll make a good toy, let's just chuck it in anyway, sort of thing. Like when Goblin has that fucking whatever spear thing at the end, and he goes, "It's been fun." Spider-Man just jabs him at it and just grabs it. I'm like, what the? Where did you get that?
Oh, yeah, where it has the retracting tink, and then Doc Ock has one as well.
What is that thing?
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
So I'm literally just chucking that in for toys, I'm pretty sure.
For sure. Even The Dark Knight did that.
What?
The motorbike that comes out of the tumbler. I actually had that toy when I was a kid.
Really?
It's like an old school Batmobile from like the Kevin Conroy cartoons. You push the button and
That's a
Batman
toy
flies
I
up
want.
front.
I want that.
If I find it, you can have it.
Ah, get out of town.
No,
straight after my heart.
You're talking about the Tumblr. As far as Batmobiles go, it begins and ends with Tim Burton's, and the Tumblr can suck it.
Ugh.
With all things Batman, the animated series, Tim Gunn, Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill, everything for me is defined by that.
Tim Sale?
Tim, what did I say?
Tim Gunn.
He is the man from Project Runway.
Yes.
Love him, but he did not make that movie.
Tim Sale.
Is it Sale?
Sale, yeah.
There's somebody Gunn, isn't there, involved with...
It's not Tim Sale.
I'm pretty
I've never
sure
heard
it's
that
Tim
name before.
Sale.
Let's all Google it. Who's going to get there first?
Seriously.
Anybody?
Sim.
Bueller?
Tim
Sim?
It's not...
Delicious.
No, it's Tim Sale.
I'm just going to have to take it to Google. Not Tim Drake. I know who Tim Drake is.
This is riveting stuff.
God damn. Fucking...
I'll get rid of this. It's nonsense.
Bruce Tim. Sorry, it's a surname.
Bruce Tim. There we go.
It was Tim something.
Where's Tim something?
Bruce Tim.
Who's Tim Sale? Tim Sale is someone.
Okay. This is too tangential even for me, because we're supposed to be talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah. All right, coming back to Spider-Man.
Definitely some toy service.
Sure.
Definitely some toys.
Definitely some toys.
Some merchandising opportunities. And there's some fan service. As there must be in all comic book franchises. There's the woman singing the song.
You've got
on the violin.
Oh, yes.
There is.
There's, the poses that are clearly classic Spider-Man poses for posters and
which
stuff
I
like that.
love. I love that. Like it doesn't look like it would help, but Spider-Man swinging with one leg out, that is a pose.
It is.
Just one leg out.
And the
he's
fact that
holding it like that, and then one leg is out there.
Yeah, the one leg out and the one kind of in.
He cocks a leg, whereas I would just let them drag behind me.
Yeah. Like I would be pulling some other move, because clearly he can do a lot more with his body than I
I'm
can.
fairly certain none of us are equipped to swing on spider webs.
I feel like I'd be the least equipped.
No way. Bring it on. I will hurt myself, but I will do it.
Oh, yeah. Give it a good fucking crack.
I will. All right. I don't know where we're going from here.
Well,
where do you want to start?
It's a tough one to start. I like, full disclosure.
Sure.
I'm not the biggest fan of these movies.
Okay. Anymore.
We
should have known that before I offered you a classic toy.
Exactly.
Can't take it back now.
No, you can't. I want it.
It's done now.
But and I don't know. It's funny. Like I said, I did used to really like these movies, and
the rewatch didn't help.
No,
didn't bring back any of those feelings.
All the rewatch did today was, I think I've been a little bit harsh on them.
Okay,
but it cemented my opinion that I am past these movies.
Okay,
sure. Like I have moved past them, and I think they were really fun at the time, and I appreciate them for what they did. But I'm so much happier with where we are now with our comic book movies.
They're very it's a different, massive killer.
It's a different animal.
Different killer fish,
yeah, and this is where I've always wanted them to be.
Definitely,
I think.
They're comic booky now without being cheesy, right?
Yeah, I like cheese though. It's not cheese that I'm allergic to, because what a sad, sorry state of existence that would be.
It would be.
I'm lactose intolerant.
See, I'd just pop some lactose and then get a wheel of cheese and say fuck it.
I have a shitload of lactose. I love chocolate.
Can you just inject it?
No, you can't. I thought there'd be like a chip that I could have embedded in my body.
Surely, putting dudes on the moon.
I agree with you in some things, but I do still rewatching this, which I haven't watched this since 2006.
Wow,
like 2007. Yeah, it was because it got so much of a run, my DVD, that I had to literally just put it aside and go, okay, I need to put this down for a bit, and watch some other stuff, and because it was so good. At that time, it was everything,
I want to ask the question: is it? And this is obviously going to be different for your age, because I think I believe that you have a genuine love for this movie, and so it's
true.
I'm trying to put my finger on where my distance from it has come from. So this won't apply to you, but I wonder if it's because in 2002 we were so starved for choice that I saw a comic book movie that wasn't hot garbage, and so suddenly was like, thank fucking Christ, and got really on board for that. Whereas since then we've probably had 100 comic book movies. Maybe is that a generous estimation?
It's
17, 18 years, let's say 3 or 4 a year.
Yeah, like you including things like Sin City and all of these things.
They're all
comic books.
Yeah. So let's say...
You're talking Dread, you're talking everything.
Let's say
there
at least 50.
For sure. Easily.
Yeah.
Count the Fantastic Fours and the X-Men.
Yeah.
I'm nowhere near as starved for choice anymore.
No.
And so when I watch something like this, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's fun. But I'd kind of rank this beside, like, this is a very harsh comparison, so please don't.
I'll brace myself.
Bite my head off. But I would put it next to, it's like a really good version of what the Fantastic Four movies are.
Oh, really?
Like it's because they were never going to be great.
No, they didn't have any hope.
Yeah, but it's like if I saw that and was like, hey, that wasn't bad.
I own them.
They did as well as they possibly could.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about this movie.
Okay,
is that I think it based in the version in the way that they decided to tell that story. It's about as good as it can be. But I on a base level, I disagree with almost every way that they've presented it, and so that becomes a problem.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
It does.
I think so. Yeah.
Does that make me a party pooper?
No, not at all.
I think that I know this is an uphill battle.
Yeah.
To try to convince millions that Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 1.
No, but I know where you're coming from as well, because you're getting the movies that you're getting with now, and it's very hard to look back at something that they would have gone through a lot of hoops to go through. Like, yes, it's a Spider-Man movie, superheroes, and if you're talking to a board that has to okay this film, okay, we need this, and this. Yeah, but we don't really want to do that. Like, they'd be fighting to get the things that they got.
Yeah. There was a huge win to get a weirdo like Sam Raimi involved.
Yeah.
I can imagine nerds at the time just being flabbergasted that Manna from Heaven, where a legit nerd who legitimately loves the product was making the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd argue he's a problem with this movie, Raimi. I think because of his real kind of like almost like gonzo attitude to stuff puts me in a frame of mind where I don't want to see comic book characters occupying a world that he creates. I feel like I want it to be what he does exceptionally well. But then seeing other universes try and live in a Sam Raimi universe, I start to kind of feel this weird kind of disconnection to it.
So if it had become the MCU, you think that would have been problematic? That we couldn't have built a Raimi-verse?
No, there's absolutely no way.
And it'd be bizarre.
I think it'd be
a lot darker.
Oh, it would be.
It'd be very dark. Because the things that I like in the elements of this movie that scream Raimi are those little scare factors. Yeah. That, like when he gets, is it when he gets waken up or bitten?
The one
he wakes up and all of a sudden, fuck, he sees something.
It cuts from Harry and Norman hugging.
That's the one, yeah.
And like fucking, I knew it was coming too because I was like, oh, they've held on this hug a little bit long. Oh, this is going to be another one of those fucking jump scares.
Yeah,
and
which I love. I love those things.
I hate them.
Yeah,
they're actually. I
actually really like them, and I thought that not that we're talking about this movie, but
also the
birth of Doc Ock is very Sam Raimi in the second one, the arms attacking,
and the point of view of the
tentacles
themselves.
That's genuinely an incredibly well made scene. The jump scares piss me off. I don't like them at all.
It was only today that I realised that house scene takes place in a hospital, not a morgue. For some reason, I thought that was the morgue, and they were doing an autopsy, not a surgery.
Yeah, and it's a Sam Raimi darkness shade that puts it over this thing. That's hence why the goblin that we get now. I have issues with some of this goblin, but the goblin that we get isn't a goblin that you're going to get from the comics. It's a goblin that is for the movies. So you kind of have to give it a leeway, and it's a darkness put on this goblin. It's a little darker than normal.
Yeah, and he is even toned down. Because there's a I don't know, I have no idea if this is truly apocryphal or if this really happened, but that Willem Dafoe's original acting as Goblin was so frightening, they were like, no, we need to put a mask on that. We need to cover some of that up. Because there's a lot even when you get glimpses of his face through the mask, even some of that's pretty Dafoe-esque.
No, but I hate that, like... This is my issue with it, because essentially, and it's been mentioned like everywhere on the internet that it's Spider-Man versus a Power Ranger, because that's what he looks like.
That's a fair comparison.
I wasn't a huge fan of the helmet, but then again, I preferred what they did with the helmet compared to what they did do in number 3 with Topher's Venom, and you just keep seeing his face. I'm like, I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him.
No,
show me Venom.
Show me Venom.
Do we feel like these movies kind of almost set a bit of a blueprint for what not to do, though. Also,
you definitely learn from experience, positive and negative, for sure. I mean, nowadays with comic book movies, you get a lot of comic accuracy as both a thing fans ask for and also what the films deliver on. Whereas I think you made allusion to it. Essentially, in those days, you did have to get it past the board because these things weren't proven summer blockbusters that print money.
Yeah.
You had to adapt the material, not just show the material for what it is. You had to adapt it to a way that people would consume. And that's why we only got Batman, Superman, the X-Men, and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You couldn't do weird offshoot stuff like Guardians of the Galaxy.
You could do fucking Thor as if you could do Thor.
Exactly.
You're not seeing that Thor, like that made-for-TV movie with Thor and the Hulk? And
yes, I have. We sold it at Dick Smith on DVD.
Yeah, it was a real cheap DVD.
Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who played Thor.
You know, Lou Ferrigno still does his voice in Endgame when it's it's not Endgame, but when he is the Hulk before Infinity War, that's Ferrigno's voice.
Yeah, I heard he
serious?
retired not long ago from.
I assumed it was Ruffalo because it's definitely Ruffalo in Infinity War.
Yeah.
Puny God. That's
Lou.
That's Lou.
Huh?
Yeah,
that's a great line as well.
Yes, I agree. I agree that
you have to adapt.
You do have to adapt, and there are things that we're learning from in these movies that helped the movies that we have now.
Yeah.
But there are so many moments in this movie that make me smile. Like that kiss is you can't beat that kiss.
Iconic.
I don't think, to be honest, we've beaten that kiss either. Like I
In
don't
terms
think
of comic book movies?
as in terms of comic book movies.
Okay.
Like I don't think we've beaten that kiss. Tell me a comic book movie that's beaten it.
I don't like the kiss at all.
You don't like the kiss?
Wow. Okay. I think we just need to hash this out. What's up with the kiss?
It's the dialogue lead up to it.
Really?
I honestly, every conversation the two of them have is like nails on a chalkboard for me. I think they have zero chemistry.
I think that's his fault.
You think that's a Maguire thing?
I think that's a Maguire thing. I don't think Maguire is, for starters, is not the best cast as Peter Parker, but then again, it was a different time.
This is the thing. Who do you choose? Because I know that
who do you choose?
Gyllenhaal went for it,
and
lost out on it to Maguire.
Yeah,
and that I think is weirder. I think if I was watching it today, sort of transposing Gyllenhaal's face on the movie, it didn't work.
Yeah,
Tobey Maguire definitely sells me on the nerd aspect. I think this is part of the reason I like it so much.
Yeah, he was less. Honestly, you know that I bitch and moan about Tobey Maguire in this role, and I think I just have an inherent dislike of Tobey Maguire. But
he was better than fucking Garfield.
Thank you.
Garfield's a better actor, but he was wrong in the role.
Correct. I love Andrew Garfield as an actor.
Yeah.
Don't like Andrew Garfield Peter Parker.
But he was, Tobey Maguire was less frustrating to me this time I watched it.
That's something we're wearing him down.
Yeah, that's it. We're getting through.
I'll get you.
Because I think I just ultimately have memories of only him being a whiny shitbag, and
that's certainly what we see.
Yeah,
there's memes of this movie for Africa.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think I think I'm so. My strongest memories of my distaste of his entire performance in the third film. So I think I've backdated that a little bit in my own memory.
I think they come as a package for you in terms of for everyone, including me.
Yeah,
really? No,
yeah. You not. I can't.
It's hard to separate them.
No, the first two certainly bleed into each other. They might as well be filmed back to back.
Whoa.
The third one, maybe I've sort of squared it off in my head and I don't think about it much. I certainly rewatched it fewer times than the other two.
Wow, so you think no chemistry between them?
Yeah, zero.
The kiss does nothing for you.
Not a single thing. All I was thinking about today was how uncomfortable it would be with all that water.
Oh, yeah, they loved it. Water was going so far up his nose. It's hilarious.
It's just like...
But I love it. That's commitment,
was the mask not covering his nose? I'm going to rewatch it because that's poorly thought out.
If you have a look at interviews when they were talking, so many people or interviewers talked about how great this kiss was. Only because it's a kiss upside down. It's a Spider-Man kiss. You know,
and I don't deny how absolutely iconic it was at the time.
Exactly. And all these interviewers are asking them, and they just got to a point where, okay, she was freezing, and I had water going up my nose, and we're going to cut it there.
Yeah.
She would have been so cold.
She was so cold, yeah. Freezing.
Yeah.
But The reason I brought this up is because this has so many of those great moments, this movie. One of my other favourites is just the Goblin gliding in on the glider, because the glider worked so well back then. It's a little dodgy now.
It is. The CG,
it's a
you
little,
can see the wires a bit.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Or the fact that you're just shooting nothing and we'll put the glide in later.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, cool. But when you first saw it, and he spins off and goes, "Oh, we'll meet again, Spider-Man." I love that moment.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's for me. That's a comic book coming like, because I can see the panel in my head.
Yeah.
Like, you don't say that in real life.
No one says
and you
that.
don't yell things over your shoulder. Nobody does that.
Yeah,
but in a comic book, you do these things. And there would have been a little dialogue panel, and Stanley would have written, "I'll see you again, Spider-Man."
Exactly.
I think that was why I love them so much, because they do. They feel like comic books.
Yeah.
They're unbelievable at some points, and it works for me. I buy it. And I don't know how much of it is nostalgia, and one day it might wear off. I might might be a road to Damascus moment, and I can see again and think, oh, okay, these movies are terrible. But for now, I'm enjoying.
No, I like them. It was good, and especially because at the time we were just starting out on the origin stories, so we weren't sick of them just yet.
Yes.
Everyone knows now, like going back at Homecoming, we didn't have the bite because you don't need the bite. Because everyone knows how he turned into Spider-Man.
The spider's dead, Ned.
Exactly. The spider's dead, Ned.
So is Uncle Ben.
Exactly. Uncle Ben is gone as well.
Already gone.
Yeah, you're not even getting with great power comes great responsibility. You're not getting that.
Because that's a cliche now.
Exactly, but at the time it wasn't.
I think this is why it's a cliche.
Yeah. So it was really, really good.
I think in terms of an origin story, this is Peter Parker's origin story done best. No, granted, we've only seen it a couple of times, maybe.
It's miles better than the Garfield version,
atrocity,
Yeah, because
I rewatched.
I mean, this is at least swinging hard, and I like.
Think this has
I think it's missing,
heart.
but at least it's swinging.
Correct. It's trying.
No
it
pun
has
intended,
heart.
by the way.
No pun intended.
But
it's funny. I'd say its heart is the thing that feels the most cynical to me.
Oh.
Is its attempt to have a heart? I feel like that's the stuff.
It doesn't
ring translate.
True.
Yeah, and
because that would be annoying.
Well, and that's where I get the distance when I watch this. I think is because I don't buy the stuff. I think I'll say that I think Cliff Richards, who plays Uncle Ben. No, what's his name? Cliff Robertson, is it?
No idea.
Clint?
I don't know.
Greg?
Yes. Greg Gregensen.
Greg Gregensen.
And I think he's the closest that it comes for me. I think he's actually great. And the conversation that he has with Peter in the car, which is obviously the great power comes...
You're right the first time.
Cliff Robertson.
Cliff Robertson. There you
Robertson,
go. He's with great power is truly a wonderful delivery. Only ruined by Tobey Maguire's fucking punchable face.
Let me...
in that scene.
And the line that he delivers, "I'll work it out." Like, it's not even... you don't feel that teenage angst. And
his teenage angst comes out of nowhere too, by the way.
Yeah.
Like... He just wants, he wants a car,
so
and we get a terrible car montage where we see Mary Jane's smiling face in a car zoom behind
Not only
him.
is it perfect Remy, but it is perfect comic book. Like, that is, you'll see all of those
things that the character sees.
Yeah, it was perfect.
No, there were moments like that where I sort of just blinked for a little bit longer than normal. Those points.
Was gold. My only major issue with this film is Tobey Maguire.
Okay,
that's it.
He's too perfect? What's the...
just reeks of horribleness.
No.
I just feel he's
miscast.
Miscast? Yeah. But the thing is, while I'm watching it, everyone else is bang on the money. Aunt May,
perfect.
Perfect. Uncle Ben, perfect.
I think these movies have done such good casting that you have to swing the other way. You have to cast...
It picks it up with where people are dropping it off. And because Peter is Spider-Man, that's where you're kind of like, oh, we're not doing great, but oh, that's kind of good. So when JJ is introduced, I'm sold.
Oh.
Like, it's because I loved J.K. Oh my God,
Simmons.
Thank you. So much that I used to rewind, and now I know his scenes verbatim. Like, meat. I'll give you a nice package of Christmas meat. Best I can do. Get out of here. Like, I love.
Last on the line. She's lost her checkbook.
100%.
Thanks for goodness.
JK was so good.
It's so good.
So good.
He's wonderful. And he honestly, he just gets to come in and do his thing. He does it really well. It's very funny.
So good.
And what more could you ask from that role? Really unnecessarily well cast.
Yes.
Like you could have just got a guy that looked like him.
No,
and we'd all be fine.
Yeah.
Which is, I like having said that, I wish they'd put some of that care into some of the other casting choices.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like, and then you're picking up like with Willem, who is great. You can't say that like that monologue where he's goleming.
He's outstanding. But I feel like he's out of place in this movie though. Because he's using, like he's better. He would be better
calls for?
maybe that's what it is. I feel like in a movie that took him more seriously, because I don't ever feel a threat in him. Like, and I think that's a weird problem, is that he's so good at what he's doing, but I'm not. I'm not ever.
You never find him scary, like threatening.
Aside from when he jump scares at me, yeah. Because all his stuff is so trashy and like sleep and his little things, and it's like we're presented with someone
Dick Dastardly, isn't he?
Yeah,
like gassing Spider-Man and not unmasking him.
Yeah,
man, what are you doing? Yeah.
Peculiar,
isn't it?
But that's because he wants to, like the fact that, and this is what I'm not a huge fan of in the story either. Like, it's not he wants them to team up. No, think of us. We could rule the world.
Join me, and we could rule the galaxy as father and son.
The bit where he just leans up against the thing and starts having a chat to him. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. He looks so dumb in that moment because it completely exposes, because it makes it look like they're just having a break from shooting and they're just hanging out somewhere. Yeah. And it's the moment where I truly just went, I hate this suit and I don't ever want to see him in that suit. It ruins it. Yeah. But like he's scarier to me away from the costume. As soon as you put the costume on, I think it lessens his power. Yeah. Massively.
Thanksgiving, that's where I think he's most scary.
Oh yeah, Thanksgiving is great.
Coming up the elevator,
Sinister Norman is properly frightening.
Can I ask one thing about the Thanksgiving scene? So he's obviously just come from the fight, blah blah blah. Yeah. Why is he suspicious even before the blood?
I have no idea.
Why would he even begin to be suspicious?
Well, he's paranoid.
Is it just paranoia?
He's been paranoid. Maybe they don't play it up enough, but my read anyway was that he is paranoia. Okay. Cool. And then he hears the noise and thinks Peter's home, and then he goes up and Peter's actually not home. And a normal person goes, oh, I misheard. And he goes, this is weird. Yeah, something's up. Yeah. And then there's blood and he thinks, no, something is definitely up.
Yeah.
I love how he thinks that it's someone else's blood though. You would look at it and go, oh, am I bleeding? If there's blood on the floor,
that's
no one looks up.
He did just come from a pretty hefty brawl.
Yeah.
He's in armour though. I mean, do you not know if you've got a cut in your arm?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Depends if I've been drinking.
Okay.
All right. I've definitely had that occurrence before.
Yeah. Mostly with bruises, no, but not with cuts.
No, like
a cut you find out when you hit the shower. You're like, what the fuck?
I've definitely found,
yeah. Well, that's because our job is...
Well, that was the thing. I realised that I probably can't say that.
No, but I love that scene.
The Thanksgiving
scene.
Yeah. Most of the time, like all of the time, where he doesn't have the mask on, I think Willem Dafoe is doing some really great work. And it's just, I think because I want to see a movie where he is the most ridiculous thing in it, because that...
Boondock Saints.
I haven't seen that in years.
Oh, there was a firefight! Yes, you're right. No, I mean, I want to see this Spider-Man movie where the Goblin is the most out there thing that is going on. Sure. Because then it's almost like his performance would be like all time. But because the rest of the movie is also just so fucking bonkers that he ends up feeling like just a little bit of a par for the course in it, yeah? Because we've got all these ridiculous things happening. We've got these weird flash cuts. We've got all the other Raimi-isms. We've got Bonesaw. We've got, like, he doesn't get to be
the top.
The top of the pile.
He's not. Yeah. This is really weird. This is also weird.
And so I feel like it kind of gets lessened a little bit for me, and I'm like, oh, but I really want to just sit and enjoy his performance.
Since we're on the topic, how do we feel about, even though it's probably been a while, the other goblins that we've seen in the cinematic universe?
All garbage.
All shit. So you've got...
I only rate
Franco's
New
boogie
Goblin.
board.
Terrible.
No, terrible. And then you've got...
DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan.
Oh, amazing too?
Yeah. Awful.
Just didn't like that goblin either.
No. I don't like anything about that movie. Except for Gwen Stacy every time she's there.
She's lovely.
Emma Stone is too good for that movie.
There you go.
She's well cast in that.
She's excellently cast.
Yeah.
And a point that was made to me...
Oh, hang on a minute. No, James Woods is in that. He's quite good.
Dennis Leary.
Sorry, Dennis Leary.
Who was in that?
Dennis Leary.
He's Gwen Stacy's dad.
Yeah.
He's not in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. He's dead by then.
He's Ghost.
Oh, you're talking about 2. Sorry, I'm talking about 1.
Yeah. One's okay. It's just boring.
Okay.
Soulless.
Yes,
It's fine.
I agree
It's fine. At least Spider-Man can be argued to try and fail, whereas Amazing Spider-Man doesn't try.
Like, even when you look back now, like Remy's... Let's go back to the costume. When that costume, you first saw that costume, you're like, whoa, that looks badass. That looks so good.
Yep.
And now looking back at all three of them, Andrew's sucks. Like, that costume looks awful.
So Amazing Spider-Man 2's costume is better than 1's.
Oh, it looks
1's is
horrible.
2's is fine. Tom's is great.
Tom's is
beautiful and bright, like the films. But I still think...
I don't think
I prefer it, but I still think it's great.
Oh, okay.
I still think the Spider-Man original suit with the really obviously raised web all over it.
Yeah,
I like
There's just
that.
something about it that just seems right. And
Okay.
I've never been able to quite put my finger on it.
No, because when I saw Tom's, that's when I was like, okay, and now they've got Spider-Man right. That colour, that fabric, and then the eyes, the fact that the eyes
when he
did
does
that,
the
I was
eyes
like,
thing in the Civil War trailer.
hey, everyone. And I was like, whoa, now we're onto it. Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I've honestly, I for some reason, I just don't mind either way.
Oh, really?
I've never disliked or liked any of them at any particular level. I think they all look like pretty good suits.
All right, so then moving in from that, the major thing that a lot of people had issues with in Remy's one is the web. His web.
Oh, biological web shooters versus mechanical.
There we go.
Okay, we can have this. We can have this conversation.
So the other reason why is because you're taking away from Peter's genius.
Correct.
Also, it's a story plot ploy. Like, it's great when Spidey runs out of web, or they're broken, or the villain has broken them in somehow.
Yep, they
And
break
now
in
he
Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it is actually an interesting part of the movie.
so he has to actually be Spider-Man without trusting on the web.
Vulture breaks them in Homecoming, and that's cool.
Exactly.
That is true. I had never considered that angle. I've definitely considered the lack of genius thing, and I think it's outweighed by the storytelling necessity of brevity.
Yeah.
Got to get to it. Because there's a time jump in Spider-Man. We see him up to and including fighting Flash and graduating high school, and then there's a time jump to almost a fully formed Spider-Man on patrol.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have wanted to do what they had to do in Amazing, where they showed him inventing this incredible piece of technology in about 30 seconds with no dialogue. I would have preferred they'd done what Homecoming did.
Yep.
This has already happened. You're expected to know who this is. This is Spider-Man. He has webs. He's smart. He made them. Yeah. And the way they do it in Homecoming, where he's just sort of making Web Fluid 3.0 in a desk drawer.
Oh, that's so good. And he just kicks the drawer closed.
It just kicks the drawer closed. It's like, now that worked. I think that isn't it just a throwaway comment maybe in Civil War?
It is.
Tony
says, do you make this?
Yeah, where did you get this? I made it.
Yeah. And then that's it.
Because if Tony Stark is impressed, you're clever.
You know it's really
You're a clever person.
Yeah, exactly.
This is where the MCU has a distinct advantage over the classic Spider-Mans, because you can be expected to know who Tony Stark is, what his character is, his characterization by the time you see Homecoming. We didn't have anything with 2002. We had to be shown or told who Spider-Man is, as if we didn't know. I knew, but there's no guarantee that someone has heard of Spider-Man, but they don't know the minutiae, perhaps, of who Spider-Man and who his great villains are. Yeah. Whereas now we kind of expect that. Nerds have become mainstream.
Oh, absolutely.
And you can just look it up. You could find out who Spider-Man is before you go.
Yeah. Where was the internet in 2002?
It was
Mine
around.
was quite slow, 56K at best.
I got my free minutes off AOL from a PC daily magazine.
I'm pretty sure I didn't have it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
No, that's okay.
Sorry about your struggles.
That's all right. I was working I was still living in the 90s. I was working at the video store, still bringing home preview tapes and
I was still
VHS,
going to the video
VHS.
store. I'm wistful for the video store in the way that I'm wistful for these movies. I think they harken me back. What were you doing, Tyson, in 2002?
I was working at a video store.
Okay, I was in high school.
Yeah.
And visiting
the video store, going straight to highly recommended, so you could get 8 for $12 or whatever, rather than a new release, which was going to blow
8
my
for
whole
12.
budget.
Or not bad.
Some stupidly large
8
number of
for
movies,
12.
more than you would actually watch. But you would just grab a stack and you'd waddle back to the counter. Take them all home, and it didn't matter.
It was
if you
my
watched
favourite
3 or
thing to
4,
do.
that was good. That was good value. $3
I only paid $12.
Yeah. It was so good.
It was inexplicable to me when they closed down. I just didn't understand. Could not possibly understand why they were gone.
It was a sad day.
Particularly for you, because that was your employment. That was.
I had moved on.
You were out.
I got out.
I saw the writing on the wall.
I see.
Yeah, it was kind of Blockbuster was kind of buying up all the other slow ones, which is sad because I would have loved to have gone to a movie land. I never went to a movie land because they had the best jingle.
Yeah.
They really had the best jingle. It was a proper song.
Yeah.
We've talked about this. It was someone actually wrote this.
I posted on the it was performed by Tina Arena.
That's right.
So it was a full song.
It was a full song.
Oh, okay, because the ones back home just said
entertain you.
Movie land's got the movies you want to see.
Yeah.
Like it goes. Like
wow.
it was so good.
We just had jingles, Video easy movie guarantee.
Yeah.
Get it first time or get it free.
So good.
Yeah.
I never got it free.
Never.
Ever.
It was like pizza free. Never happened.
Yeah.
They always
It was definitely a thing.
Oh, it was real, but it just never happened to me.
I had to give out the vouchers.
Yeah?
Yeah. It would happen on like Saturday nights at like 5 to 11, where some fuckwit would come in, be like, "Can I?"
5 to 11. What time are you open?
Till 11, man.
11.
Friday and Saturdays,
really?
yeah.
Oh, we
So
only
they
have
would
to
choose, and they'd come in and be like, "Oh, can I get Fast and the Furious, please?" And it's like, "Oh man, look, it's gone.
It's gone.
Because you just got here at fucking 5 to 11 on Saturday night, man."
Absolutely.
So
Tell me this: could you pick people what they were going to rent when they walked in? Were you that good? Could you?
I used to have a guess.
100%. 100%. Because
This guy's going behind the curtain.
because streaming didn't exist. The way that you caught up on your Star Trek voyages, your episodes of TV shows,
Yeah.
I knew every single Star Trek.
I knew all the Trekkies for sure, and I knew the dudes that randomly hung around over on a certain side of the store and then came back with the kind of like soft porn, like thrillers.
Oh yeah, they were always
starring
called thrillers.
like Shannon Tweed or whatever was that her name? Because it
think
was the
Sharon
same.
Stone.
It was like
Sharon Stone?
No, because it wasn't. It was like below that level.
Yeah.
And they were all like all the covers were exactly the same, and you knew those dudes. You're
That's
like,
disgusting.
oh,
That's gross.
every time.
So good. So good.
What were we talking about?
The video store.
Come on, backtrack,
What
boys.
we
Where
were
were
doing
we?
in 2002. I was like, yeah. And I think that goes into why I love this movie so much. Because in 2002, Tobey Maguire was the kind of nerd that I saw myself as.
Aw.
And I never saw Andrew Garfield as the kind of nerd that I either liked or was or wanted to be.
Can we argue that Andrew Garfield is that generation's nerd, though?
Yes, I think so.
I
think so.
He's not our
2012, he's not our outcast.
No.
You were emo in 2012.
Yeah.
He was too cool. He was way too
He's
cool.
cool to us, but he's probably a shitbag to like 2012 cool kids.
In 2012, I don't think being a weird nonconformist was the main cool thing. Whereas now it's a cool thing.
We're not cool. Like we're not the judges of cool. I don't think.
Definitely
I think we can speculate.
We have a movie podcast. Of course, we're not cool. What are we talking about?
We're talking about 2002 Spider-Man. I think the ship has sailed. I'm cool.
No way. Still good.
I'm wearing you guys down.
But no,
Tell me what you love. Tell me what else you love, then,
What else did I love?
so I can poo-poo it.
So organic web shooters. That's where.
That's
what we were.
Organic web shooters.
Look, I still think it's good.
Really?
It undersells that Peter Parker is a genius in that universe. Like,
Sure.
Other than Reed Richards, he's the smartest person on the planet, isn't he?
Yeah.
When you factor age.
They dismiss that almost entirely in this movie. Like they don't even really pay
They
a
only
lot of
really
attention to
throw
it.
it in passing into
Yeah.
Peter Parker, brilliant but lazy. That's it. That's all you get.
Yeah.
And
just
that was very well
the
played.
little bit where like I read all your research on nanotechnology.
Yeah.
And you understood it.
And you understood it.
Yeah, so I'm writing a paper on it.
on it. Not really. Oh, and that is he won the chess. He's in the chess club.
He won the science prize.
And he won the science prize.
He won the science prize. Yeah.
But still, that's not. You're not showing him his brilliance.
No, he never does anything brilliant. But you're told.
Yeah. And that's high school brilliance as well. Like,
and they don't tell you that he's in like a advanced science program,
exactly.
which he is
he knows some shit about the power core where they've got the spiders and stuff. But that's
Look, they try, I think, but you're right. They do undersell Peter's intelligence.
Yeah, and so if he did just roll up with some web shooters that he made, I think we'd all probably be like, well,
whoa.
So you're a super genius.
Yeah.
Then. Like you're not just a smart kid.
Yeah.
But also the web shooters are kind of gross, aren't they? Gross though.
I don't think about it
web
that much. It
things?
is kind of a gross thing. He must have a gland, yes?
And that's the thing, like if you're looking at it scientifically, if he does have them organically, it would come out of his ass.
Doesn't have to.
But does he have like little holes then in his wrist?
No, it's kind of like a white, almost like a pustule, like a.
Oh, so it's like
that's
so
grody.
it builds up and then just.
Exactly.
I mean, any way you talk about it.
And the reason why the two fingers in the middle of the palm is because there's a button there.
There's a button there, yeah. Correct. But, I mean, you could argue if it is a pustule and you're trying to shoot pus out of it, that could be just the right angle.
Yeah, it's like you've just got your squeeze it
Correct,
just the
you're
right
just
way. Your
squeezing it
skin
just the right way.
Welcome to Nick Tyson Videotape, where we talk about pustules.
Organic web shooters, I stand it.
I mean, and that's just...
I think being a genius is not sold as one of his key characteristics in these movies. I think it's that he's a hopeless romantic.
Yes.
Right? It's unrequited love.
They concentrate on that. That is, like, as he says at the start, like, this story is about a girl. Like, he says with his narration.
Yep.
And that's what
And people hate the narration, don't they?
But they kind of forget about the narration until the end, though, don't they? It's just the beginning and the end.
Yep.
So, I mean, what's the point?
I think people were salty about it because they did it again in the second one.
Oh, okay.
I know that How It Should Have Ended definitely took a couple of jabs at Spider-Man narrating.
Yeah.
I just think of it as an artifact of the film. I think I'm probably super accepting of just, well, that's how it is. It's good.
I don't care either way. I honestly don't. It could be there. It couldn't be there. It's not.
I don't hate
enough,
narration. I don't think.
I love narration. It depends on what film you put it in. I've always wanted to be a good narrator. There are amazing narration movies that we have, and you're like, oh, how good's the narration? But I
mean, in a play, it's essential. You must have a narrator or a character that perhaps speaks to the audience and tells you what's going on. It's theatrical.
I have a question. When when Peter does his go after the killer of Ben,
yes,
does he kill that guy?
He intends to.
He was.
He is responsible for his death. It's involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, he kills that guy.
Well, I think an argument could be made for murder, right? Because he went with the intent to kill him,
and
it was premeditated.
Exactly, and they don't know that he tripped and fell. No one saw that.
Yeah, so he did plan to kill him, and then decided against it in the moment. So it's actually it's a heat of the moment.
Switch
to manslaughter.
I mean, I'm no lawyer, so please excuse my ignorance.
You look like Matt Murdock to me.
Yeah. Because my eyes are glazed over.
That's the glasses you're wearing.
So he went there, yes, with the intention
to harm at the very minute.
Yes, they had their little brawl. He saw who it was. He was shocked. He was about to get shot in the face.
Broke
his wrist, and then what? He just let him go, and he fell over.
The guy, he let it go. He backed up and tripped.
Yes, he does. He backs up and he trips on a pipe.
And he falls
through
out the window.
falls out a window.
That he's in the clear.
Yeah,
you'd argue that he's in the
self-defense. What about the fact that when you have a certain level of martial arts skill,
so with certain power comes certain responsibilities?
Yeah, I mean, if Spider-Man punches you and you die, is that assault with a deadly weapon? Because your hands are a deadly weapon. I mean, we get an actual factorized mathematical power level for Spider-Man in this. Because we know that the performance enhancers increase the power in the rats by 800%?
Yep.
And Spider-Man is stronger. So he's at least 800 times stronger than a man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I think what it is just a kind of a... would we have been better off if he had have... We wouldn't be better off if he had have kicked him through the window.
Would we be better off?
No, that's too
for an
DCEU
audience.
for me.
Yeah. It's too
grim. Why did you say that name?
Exactly. It's Batman shoving skulls through floorboards.
Totally.
Killing everyone.
So it's for our sake that he doesn't actually kill him.
Yeah.
Is it enough of a cover? Is it enough of a grey area?
I think the key thing with Spider-Man's whole characterization is that he feels guilty.
Yeah.
That's the guilt. He does good because he feels guilty. Not because he's Captain America and he's a good man, but because he feels obligated.
Yeah, because he has these powers.
And it's why he resents...
because it was... exclamation pointed because of the fact that his uncle died. And he saw that he could have stopped that.
It's his fault that his uncle is dead.
Is dead, yeah.
Because if he hadn't been going to the wrestling, if he'd been able to convince his uncle to let him take the train, if he'd showed up on time, if he'd stopped the guy, all of it is his fault. He could literally draw, and he's smart enough to draw a line in his head between the predicament that he has and the actions he did or didn't take. I think you'd struggle to find someone to defend. Oh, it's not really your fault.
Oh no, I don't mind. All that stuff is very important.
But you're saying, do we as the audience need to?
I think it's funny because the death of that guy. In my head, I was like, that's an odd choice because really, it's not about that guy dying that makes any relevance to anything. It's him knowing who he was. So I just found it a weird choice that they did decide to kill him.
Yeah, I don't think kill him. I don't know why they killed him.
I think
to be honest, we don't know he's dead.
I think they killed him for Peter's sake, so Peter can feel guilty.
Okay.
So even more guilt.
Yeah, they're just piling it on.
Jesus, that's
guilt.
There's something to be said for the guy died and you got no satisfaction from it.
Yeah,
maybe if he had
if he had done it, at least he could say I did the wrong thing, but at least I did.
Yeah,
at least I was in control of my destiny.
I don't even get my revenge.
Yeah, he's robbed of his revenge. I think it was better done in Batman Begins. Joe Chill and Bruce at the end.
I have issues with that. I don't like that because in the Batman that I've read and I know, Bruce never finds out who did it.
Really? I thought Joe Chill was a clear part.
There are two separate storylines, and Joe Chill is a storyline, and there is another storyline where
Bruce never finds out.
Bruce never finds out. He goes to great lengths to find out, and the person that finds out, I believe, is Superman, and Clark doesn't tell him. He goes, "I'm not telling you."
Oh, wow. Yeah. Fair enough.
Soups.
Yeah.
Always the diplomat.
Oh, always makes the wrong choice.
Yeah. always good.
All right. Well, so what have we yet to talk about?
What have we missed?
Have we missed anything?
We had the things. The villain, the suit, Spidey's suit, the casting. I think we hit the casting.
Covered all that.
The casting.
Aunt May's great. Uncle Ben's great.
Yeah. We've talked about direction.
Jonah Jameson's great. Flash Thompson's great.
Oh, okay. The score.
Oh, Danny Elfman.
Oh, it was good, but it was good for a Batman film. I felt like it was literally Dick Tracy.
We had this conversation last week.
Literally last week, I felt like I was watching Batman.
I think I've gone cold on Danny Elfman. I used to be like a big Danny Elfman fan. I reckon he's written one good score.
He's great when he does Tim Burton. You listen to Beetlejuice. That is original,
and I'll take
amazing stuff. And then nice. Exactly. And then Scissorhands. Amazing. And then you've got the quintessential Batman theme that he wrote that has stuck around for that long.
I don't need him doing any more superhero stuff.
No. It's just that because it's that orchestral, almost choir that you hear as Spider-Man's running up the wall. I'm like, I need something else. I need something different. You're not giving me what I want. It's not music to run up the wall to.
It's strangely, at odds to the tone of the film. I feel like this score. I don't know. You're right. It's a score of a dramatic, serious action drama comic book movie.
Like it's a flyer.
While the movie is not that. So it feels like there's a strange dissonance between the score and the film for me.
Yeah, but that's it for me.
So we got score, we got suit, we got casting, plot,
ending. All right.
Hey, Spider-Man aficionados.
Oh.
How many of these movies end at funerals? Because I'm saying at least 4.
How does 2 end?
At a funeral.
Whose?
The
No, it doesn't. Spider-Man 2 ends at a wedding.
Oh, she runs away from the wedding.
She leaves Jonah Jameson's son at the altar.
You're right.
That's right.
With his bogus haircut. Rewatch it. You won't be able to take your eyes off it.
So, Spider-Man 2 has a wedding.
It does. Spider-Man 3?
Well, Harry Osborn's funeral.
Oh yeah, Harry dies. To stop Venom.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then Amazing Spider-Man 1 is
Captain Stacy's.
Captain Stacy's. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is Gwen Stacy's.
Gwen Stacy's, of course.
Wow,
Homecoming.
Homecoming is
nothing at the end of Home. No funeral in Homecoming.
No one, because no one dies in the MCU.
That's true. Well, no, that's not really true. Spoilers for Endgame.
Is that a weird anomaly with these movies?
A lot of funerals. A lot of funerals.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, Spider-Man 1 has the key funeral, with the walk away from Mary
does,
Jane.
yeah.
Yes.
And her going...
It's also
I
very
remember
archaic.
that kiss, even though it was upside down. I'm like, oh, come on. You didn't remember that
No, a kiss is a kiss. I mean, it's not like he has a weird mustache or anything. That she's like,
maybe he has a tongue piercing.
It's just
the piercing we don't know about.
Yeah, that's true. Because it's just because she can tell he really loves her. Is that what it is? She just has love mouth, and she just knows.
I think it's she. Yeah, I think we're meant to think that she has remembered who that kiss was from before,
or how it felt.
Yeah,
maybe he uses a lot of tongue.
Something like that.
What's her
spider piercing? I'm telling you. What's her what?
He's got mandibles. He's got two tongues that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. Like, there's some spider mutation in the mouth.
It could happen.
Split the tongue. Ooh. You know what I do like? I do like the small hairs on the end of the tips when we get the wall crawling.
Yeah.
So does that go through his suit?
That was what I've always wondered. Does that not make getting the suit on and off hard?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what about the feet? Like he's wearing shoes.
Yeah. I think it's a bit like Superman's suit. There's a law to why it doesn't get damaged. You just don't have to think about it.
Yeah. Depends what you read.
It's best not to think about it too far. Well, this suit gets pretty fucked up. I like that he gets royally fucked up.
I like that he gets royally fucked up. And I like that action sequence. That's a nice
I think it's a nice little one.
Yeah,
Until he pulls the wall down on him, and the wall, which was solid, then becomes brick rubble in the next shot. Like, you don't see it break. It sits on top of him for a second, cuts away, comes back, and it's rubble.
But I love all the punch.
And he gets stabbed in the dick, right? Is this
punches?
That's what happens?
Does he really? Goblin? I thought it was in the...
No, it was in the
midsection. In the tummy.
I swear you can see, like, the beginnings of his V down into his crotch area.
Was it just a practical effect? He just had his legs on either
side? I'm pretty sure it's just it's how they just did the effect because it was easier.
Really?
Just, we'll put it in the wall and you just have to scooch down it like a kid's swing.
It might not be his dick, but it's like, it's hitting...
It's very much
around
the
pelvic area.
If it was the dick, he probably could have lived.
It's an odd choice.
You might have trouble walking, but you'd be alive. Whereas he's definitely
Maybe
dead.
that was set.
Is it because Peter just assumes he's going to die, takes him to Harry's instead of the hospital?
Oh, good
She
point.
just dies for lack of medical attention.
Maybe it's just like, no, it's cool. It's just my dick.
No, I'm pretty sure he's dead there.
I feel better.
Don't tell Harry. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
How does this remind me in the third one about the butler? Who tells him
that's the worst.
That's the worst.
How does he know what happened?
His father was killed by his own glider.
Yeah.
What fucking way to tell me that before now?
Yeah, how does he know? Because I thought there was something in this because it had been a while since I've watched it all together.
Yeah,
so the butler saw Peter, but then what did he sit him down and
attended to Norman's wounds or read the autopsy report?
The butler can suck it, seriously.
So James Franco's just lazy and didn't actually read the report and say,
in this movie,
yes, he died of a stab wound from what appeared to be a blade of his own glider.
Yeah.
As opposed to just, Spider-Man did it.
Yeah.
No, Spider-Man did it.
How did Spider-Man do it?
Spider-Man doesn't use blades.
No, but how do you know that he did it?
Maybe he has a really big, stinger, like Shelob. That he can bring out of his...
Yes. That's a bit full on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pincers.
There was a funny thing on the IMDb trivia which made me giggle.
Yeah.
Was that one of the trivia items was that there was some producers who were watching the theatrical cut and were shown the sequence where he's the first one in the night where he's chasing after not Joe Chill.
Not Joe Chill, yeah.
And apparently were unable to detect when it changed from a CGI, from real Peter Parker to a CGI model. And I'm like, do these people not have eyeballs?
Really?
Because it is...
Oh, it's very
It is
blatant.
a cartoon for about 3.5 minutes of this movie.
Are we talking about when he's swinging behind the car?
No, when he's coming up the wall.
Yeah.
When he strips out, you literally see a pole go past and all of a sudden, and we're CGI.
Yeah.
And you see him jump.
He loses all tangibility in his physical movement.
Loose.
I didn't even notice it.
You didn't notice it?
No.
And if you pause it slightly, his arms are really big. That's how I noticed it.
Right.
I was like, wow, that's bizarre.
I'm just along for the ride. I think that's part of the problem.
Oh, yeah.
And this is, I am the first to admit that I end up finding more of this shit because I'm not enjoying it anyway. And so I'm just like, that sucks. Why are all the kids 45 years old? That's what I want to know as well.
That is
Flash Thompson, man.
There's a funny oddity that I pointed out to my wife. That scene at the museum with the teacher who's busting their balls. He's the youngest person there.
The actor's playing the teacher.
Yeah,
that does not surprise me at all. No.
They just put glasses and a dorky shirt on him and had him talk down to them.
That's why they're not listening to him.
That guy's terrifying, that teacher.
He is.
When he whispers at him,
great.
I will fail you all. I'm just like, he's going to cut them up.
Yeah. This class. Shit, you know. I'm like, dude.
It's intense.
I'm telling you, whispering.
Let's go
so
talk
much
about how we
better than
listen.
yelling. Yeah. Full on.
I actually like the fight scene with Flash Thompson. I think
Me
it's
too.
Cool. Yeah.
I stand by that as one of the great scenes.
It's really fun.
It was it's the best way to show what Spidey sense is.
Spidey sense is good, isn't it?
Just the slowdown of time while he works there. And they reuse that as that's how Spidey sense works rather than the monochromatic black and white Flash they used in the cartoon.
I love that Flash though. Oh, something's happening. I don't know what, but something's happening.
Yeah. So where do you rank this in the trilogy then, Edge? I'll be interested to know.
It's hard because the second one is really, really good. Really, really good.
I remember liking the second one a
I
lot.
think the second one is the best one of the three. It's the Dark Knight of the three, if you
Sure.
will. And number one is the Batman Begins, and that kind of means the third one is Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. And no one likes Dark Knight Rises. And if
It's
you do,
trilogy
stop
syndrome.
listening to this podcast.
I do. I love it.
So I think Dark Knight Rises
He gets a pass.
I think Dark Knight Rises is good, but clearly the worst of the trilogy.
Way too many holes. Way too many holes for me.
Yeah?
Like, I can, and
What forces you to suspend your
I'm not getting
disbelief?
into this
I was about to
now.
say.
I'm not getting into this now. This is another podcast. I'll be here forever.
I reckon we watch it and we have this conversation again.
All right, cool. We'll have Edge on again, and we're doing the fucking
there's
Dark
only
Knight
so much
trilogy.
I can say.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
It's too much. I couldn't stand it. The fact that Catwoman just comes in and shoots Bane
remember you
after
telling me
all of
this.
this, and oh wow, Bane's just
You'll
dead.
just
now.
have to imagine the fire.
You kidding me? After all that build-up of
Captain America got killed by a bullet in the comics.
You know, it's not about that. It's about the fact that I've seen this whole movie about Bruce Wayne trying to defeat Bane.
Yeah, he did though. They had their brawl.
No,
he
but
got
he-
him. He
he
got
did.
him.
No,
He
yeah.
beats him outside and he beats him
finally
down.
had him beaten. He had him beaten down.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
he did and then he got shot.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to lay the killing punch. That's not the point.
Does to me.
The point is, he beat him. He beat him down. He won.
He beat him fair with his fist,
Yeah.
and then he gets stabbed
Yeah.
by Bane's associate,
Yeah.
and then his associate was able to come and return the favour.
Didn't it?
With bullets.
It didn't help me.
That's
Just one of a blip.
It's all right.
It's
Yeah,
one
the
of a
list.
blip.
The list is long,
The
and
list is,
we can address them one at a time. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
fast.
fine.
Spidey 1 is the second best of the Raimi trilogy.
Sure.
Of the Raimi-verse.
I mean, yes, you're right. I think that's pretty much everyone's opinion.
yeah.
And
Yeah. But you can't talk about Spider-Man 2 without talking about Spider-Man.
Yeah.
There wouldn't have been one.
No.
And
I think it fixes so many of the things that I am frustrated by in this movie.
yes. And I think a lot of people drag 1 and 2 down by 3, whereas I pull 1 up by 2.
Though. No, that's fair.
I just don't think
I don't even hate 3, to be honest. Like, it's
I do.
it's no good.
I still think it's better than any Amazing. I think the worst
I know
Raimi
about
is still
that.
better than the
At least,
best Web.
man, because at least it's like it's the same thing. At least it's a fucking shitstorm that you can
I
have
had
a
to
good
watch it.
time.
And
with.
you can
Yeah,
at
good
least...
point.
I see, again, though, I just make excuses for 3. The studio interfered.
And
And
that's
he didn't
what-
want Venom anyway. And if you pull Venom out, the movie's way better. Sandman is great.
Sandman's good. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Had you pulled Venom out, Sandman we would have got more of Sandman.
Yes.
Like more depth or more interaction with him. It was too much juggling. That's the thing.
Because you had New Goblin, and that was disappointing after 3 films of build-up.
Yeah,
James Franco's
which you
just no
totally had to
good, though,
do.
in these movies,
You
though.
totally had to do though, because him. I remember, and I still in that when he throws the pumpkin bomb at Spidey, Spidey grabs it and throws it back at him, and it blows up in his face. You were like, "Whoa, this friendship has gotten way out of hand."
Yeah.
Like, fuck, guys, let's chill out. Let's have a beer.
Yeah, when
Like,
you're throwing your pumpkin bombs at your mates,
fucking, let's calm down.
it's too far.
Yeah,
You've gone too far,
let's
guys.
calm down. Let's calm down. Yeah. Hilarious.
that's when you call the friendship.
Yeah,
You
I
just go,
think
look,
so.
let's
It's
go
not
separate
working
ways.
out.
Why don't we try
Where's-
calling it when you get the pumpkin bombs? Like before
Yeah.
you even throw them. If you're considering getting them,
Yeah.
might be time.
That's my best friend in the world. I'm going to pumpkin bomb him. Just pump the brakes at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it. That's hilarious. Let's
Nick, what's your ranking?
of what?
I don't know. Give me
Dark
something.
Knight.
Very good. And I will say the color blue.
No, I take them as they come. 1, 2, and 3. I
Okay.
prefer 1 as my top, 2 as the second, only because I feel that movies for me hold up on their endings, and the ending of 2 I wasn't a fan of because it was the villain going, no, Peter, I'll say that. I'll do the thing that needs to be done.
yeah.
The he takes-
Everybody hates it when Darth Vader kills the Emperor.
Exactly.
Nobody wants
takes
that.
one for the team.
You know?
Stop doing that. Be the villain that I want you to be, Doc Ock. I want Doc Ock to be the villain. I want him to be.
Don't want him to redeem?
Yeah,
in
everyone loves a
prison.
good redemption arc.
Exactly.
I do.
Being in prison, going,
I'm going to get
I'll get you again, Spider-Man. You know, I'd love that. Or
Okay.
do what Homecoming did with Vulture. Have him go to prison and go, Everyone come and think, so I hear you know who Spider-Man is. No, I don't. And
See, I
leave it
still
at that.
kind of find that inexplicable.
I fucking love that. So good. You don't like that?
Not as much as I like the end of Spider-Man 2.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I like Homecoming. It's a great film. It's not better than Spider-Man 1 or 2.
Wow, that's huge. Okay.
I will be contentious. I'll take this to the mat.
No, that's fine.
Homecoming is better than 3, but not better than 1 and 2.
Wow.
And obviously better than Amazing. They're trash. They will stay the 2 worst ones.
Okay.
Spider-Verse is right up there somewhere.
Spider-Man is Spider-Verse is the top Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, Homecoming is very, very close underneath it for me.
Maybe I'm just not a great Spider-Man fan. It's starting to dawn on me.
You just don't like Spider-Man.
Maybe I just don't like Spider-Man.
What did you think of Home? What did you?
I really like Homecoming.
Yeah?
I think it's like leagues away from anything
from these ones.
Spider-Man.
From these Amazing Spider-Verse. I didn't like Spider-Verse at all.
Okay.
You didn't like Spider-Verse at all?
No, I really struggled.
I think you're not a
with
Spider-Man. Yeah, that might be it.
I think I would just
Because I
figure
think
that
if you're a Spider-Man fan, that was the Avengers for me.
Yeah, right.
When the Avengers assembled in Avengers, it was great. When all of the Spider people from the different Spider-Man universes came together, I needed a minute.
Yeah, right. Interesting.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair deal.
I mean, it was fine.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I was
amazing.
easily distracted.
I was really surprised.
So
at
even
how
the technical
fucking
stuff,
good it was.
the stuff, the different art styles, the different characters,
I mean,
the
like,
soundtracks.
it was pretty impressive technically for sure.
Right.
And I enjoyed elements to it, but I thought the story was pretty garbage. But
Okay. I think you have to already love Spider-Man to like Spider-Verse.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it because the way that they tell everybody's origin stories in 30 seconds.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, that was
and
funny.
The throwbacks and okay, now it's my turn.
I think you have to know that you have to already know and love these films. And I give extra points to Rami because he led us to this. If we hadn't had Spider-Man trilogy for all its ills, we wouldn't have Spider-Verse.
That fucking butler. I totally forgot about that. Seriously, fucking jerk.
I'm going to rewatch 3.
I remember that and just go, oh, you fucking kidding me?
it's the 2 worst actors you could possibly have in one scene together, Franco and that guy.
I don't even know that guy or what he looks like.
I know. He's burned in my brain. And I remember because of the outtakes, because he forgot, dude, you have one job. And he forgot his lines a lot.
Because he's 107. So, he's doing the best he can.
Hilarious.
Very good.
Your rankings, Tyson, if you are going to rank them.
It's for me, Homecoming's clearly the top.
It's the clear winner.
And then probably 2, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1.
I need to watch Amazings again because I'm pretty sure I like them a lot more than a lot of people do.
The Amazings are on Australian Netflix, so you definitely can.
Yeah.
The good Spider-Man movies are on Amazon Prime.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 is. It's a hell of a ride.
There's a lot going on.
There's a shit ton going on.
It's like they looked back at the first 3 and thought, what are the bits that stand out of this?
But that's the thing with that ending. That was a great ending. Everyone
Amazing
knew.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, if you knew what Gwen's fate was, the way that they did that was perfect.
Yeah, and actually getting a Gwen Stacy where she's a human being before she dies.
I did care about Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, me too.
Sure.
And in the comics, she was kind of.
She's more of like a memory, isn't she?
She only really serves as Peter's motivation.
Yeah,
as part of.
So she was the poor man's Mary Jane in that retrospect, like sort of, because she didn't do. She
was already dead before.
She almost died in flashback, right?
Yeah,
or died early on, but just to give Peter a tragic thing, because in those days you were just selling the next book.
Yeah,
it was a soap opera more than it was a deep story. You were just this is the next twist. You'll have to find out next week.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in Amazing Spider-Man 2, there's like electric beams of metal that sing musical notes. And
the
stuff.
dubstep battle.
And it's
terrible.
The dubstep.
Watch it. It's legitimately dubstep.
And someone else...
Because dubstep was big.
It was.
It still is. I've heard. I'm a father. I'm very old.
The step.
Look how the kid's down with the dubstep still.
And isn't there he whispers, there's weird whispering in the score?
To himself almost. It's like an inner monologue.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
Get
it's dumb.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's the devil.
What was Jamie Foxx thinking? This guy had options, and this is the one he went with.
Jamie Foxx has no filter when it comes to
Academy
his
Award
choices.
Jamie Foxx.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Kanye West alum.
Fuck. God damn.
Yeah.
Might as well just...
When you've been on a Kanye song, you've done Ray, you won an Oscar, and you thought, yeah, this is
just
what's
put a
next for
red
me.
cap on, eh? Yeah, fair deal. Jesus. Horrible.
Yeah, that's probably my least favourite.
Amazing Spider-Man 2, yeah.
Yeah, but it's... but you know what? I'm going to put it above 3 because I think it's more fun to watch because it's just so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
Chris
the thing,
Cooper
and that's why we
dies
keep...
of goblin disease. I mean, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that made me
good.
so mad.
So good.
They actually sow the seed for it in Amazing. On the rewatch.
Oh, really?
The reason Kirk Connors is being pushed by that other guy to complete the research quickly to push to human trials. He says Norman Osborn is dying. He literally says that aloud.
There you go.
I didn't realise, because it obviously blew right past me, in this Spider-Man, 2002, Connors gets a mention.
Yeah, you get sacked.
He gets sacked from Connors to stop. Like, what? Where did that happen?
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2, he's a university professor by then.
Yeah.
And he's Peter's professor.
Yeah.
And he's hard on him, but he likes him.
Yeah.
And it kind of doesn't really play with the fact that he was his boss.
Dylan
And that poor actor thought that he was going to get to be the Lizard.
Yeah.
He would have if three had come together better.
It's just a Billy
mention
D. Williams.
No, they mention Eddie Brock as well in Spider-Man.
They do.
Eddie's been trying to,
Eddie.
Eddie has been trying to get photos of him.
Meat. I'll give you that. It's some of my favourite fucking line.
Yeah.
Well, I think that might wrap us up.
That's for Spidey.
Gentlemen.
Spidey,
Spider-Man 1.
2002.
2002.
Time.
I'm excited to talk more. I'm going to watch 2 and 3 again because it's been a while.
You'll enjoy 2.
I'm hoping so because I used to really rank 2 very highly.
I think you'll like 2. I think it holds up.
Good.
Okay, I'm excited to see. And
I haven't
hopefully
rewatched
it's not
3
just.
in a while.
I'm going to watch all of them.
Yeah,
And then I'm going to watch
you know,
Batman and Robin because fucking yes.
I mean, yeah. See, it's been a long time since
That's
I've
the
watched
thing.
Batman and Robin.
Have you
I should watch
rewatched
it.
Batman and Robin and Batman Forever?
This is we talked about this once before. Everyone reckons Batman Forever is not
as bad.
Nowhere near as bad. They are equally as bad.
Really?
No,
I push.
no.
I defend Batman Forever, but I will not defend Batman and Robin.
I don't mind it. There's parts of it that are just fucking garbage.
Oh yeah,
but there are parts of it that are really
Tons
good.
of
I love the Riddler's section.
Yep,
his backstory and
Jim
all that
Carrey
crap.
just being Jim Carrey.
Yeah. No.
I think
We're
yeah.
gonna do it.
I used to
George Clooney.
I used to
Val Kilmer
100%
sucks
agree
as
with you.
Yeah.
But you rewatch them and you're like, oh, there's actually not a great deal difference between these two movies.
No, it's because
as
Joel
far as
fucked it.
the ridiculousness and the tackiness, I think Batman and Robin had just less redeeming qualities.
Well, Batman and Robin has Arnold Schwarzenegger cracking wise about ice every other sentence.
But that's because there's no other playthrough. There's no story to that movie.
No.
It is
What's the
literally
plot of Batman and Robin?
It's literally just
These villains are doing bad. It's almost a 1960s show. For 2
There
hours.
is literally, I remember
Alfred has a disease.
Yeah, what? Exactly. At Batgirl. Yeah, he has
the same disease.
McGregor's syndrome. That's what it is.
The same disease as the wife.
Yeah.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
That's the one.
That's the one.
My favourite scene of that, because I thought it was going to be this, it was coming up to some amazing scene, is when Batman and Robin are chasing the ice bus that Mr. Freeze is driving down the arm of a statue, right? They blow the wall out of the statue. Clooney says to Robin, "You're not going to make it, pull back." And he overpowers his bike.
Yep.
Remember that?
I remember that.
And then Robin yells in this massive thing at the sky, "No!" as they both fly over, right? The ice bus lands, the Batmobile lands, and then literally the next scene is Batman opening his cape like that, and Mr. Freeze is on the ground. Nothing happens. And I'm like, what kind of fucking scene was that? What was that? You literally see nothing.
Oh.
I love that about Batman and Robin. It's so fucking stupid.
I mean, stupidity is the order of the day in that movie.
It is.
Yeah, it was definitely a pendulum swing from Burton. And we're like, we'll go the other way and we'll see what happens. And then we'll have a reprieve for a decade or so.
Yeah.
And then
Can't say they didn't try something new.
Exactly. It's sort of like when you've had a good government for a while and you think, you know what? Maybe we should
switch it up a little bit.
Maybe we should vote in the turds.
See what it's like.
Let's see what happens.
See what an economic downfall feels like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey,
let's move on.
Let's move on to our next segment, guys. It's
Which
called
is,
What Did You Watch This Week?
Okay.
Ed, you can go first, man. Guest's honor.
Oh, wow. We're talking about things other than Spider-Man because I was really on a Spider kick.
You really were.
I really was. If you see my letterbox,
I can tell you what you've watched.
Spider-Man. I even skipped the movies I was supposed to watch for my own podcast this week to watch more
nothing but
Spider-Man.
I like it.
And in the coming week, obviously, I watched Black Klansman and Christopher Robin the week before.
Very good. So, we'll choose one that you would like to perhaps give us a little bit of an insight into. Maybe a little bit of a spoiler for your show, perhaps.
For sure.
Where you might be going.
What do we go, Christopher Robin? I'll take my namesake.
Yeah.
Look, it's good. It's good, not great. It's, Ewan McGregor does a great job. He's very charming because he's Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
You can't go too far wrong. He's the best part about the prequels, and he's sort of, other than Pooh's voice, he's the best part about this. He's really likable. It's weird how sad it is. I don't know if you've both seen it.
No, I
haven't seen it either.
Here's the thing:
It's on my
the
list.
trailer makes it seem like it's Mary Poppins Returns, or it's just a new sequel to a thing we've had. This franchise is popular. We could make some money here. It's shockingly sad.
Right.
I cried more than once.
Right.
Jesus.
Not on the rewatch, but on the initial watch for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
If it had been in the cinema and had been dark, I would have lost it. Just something about being in the cinema in the dark, I just cry more than I would at my own home.
I cry more in a cinema.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just because the emotions
no.
are bigger with the screen? It's just.
Oh no, I let them flood at home. What are you talking about?
Really, I can't.
No.
I can't hold it in the cinema. That's my problem.
Oh, really?
I'm better. I'm more in control at home because I'm
I haven't
settled.
seen a lot of emotional stuff.
Tell me
at
how
the
you go with
cinema.
Christopher Robin.
Yeah.
It's surprisingly sad. Like, yeah, it's not up level sad in terms of the beginning of Up, but it's the opening of it is pretty sad. It's Christopher Robin's last day in the 100 Acre Wood, and they're throwing this sad little party to say goodbye to Christopher Robin.
Jesus.
And you're like, all right, I was not ready for this. I thought this was lighthearted. And then you see Christopher Robin go off to boarding school and be sad, and then go off to war, and you're like, Christ. What is this?
This is taking a turn.
It's taking a turn.
This
Yeah,
is
so
a
it's
fucking kids'
grimmer and sadder than you think it is.
Right.
I've probably acclimatized you now than you would have thought.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right.
It's good, not great.
Okay.
Ultimately, as a piece of cinema, worth in terms of the film band scale, it's worth the rewatch, worth the recommend for a friend. Doesn't go up on the staff picks shelf at the video store. That's because we think of that as their highest praise.
That is the highest praise. You are not wrong.
That's
Correct.
very true.
If a friend said, "Should I watch it?" I'd say yes. I wouldn't officially put my names and say this is the movie.
Who directed
you've got to
it?
see? Yep,
Christopher Robin.
Simon Curtis, his name is.
And he has done Simon Curtis.
Mark Forster, apparently.
Really?
Who are you looking at?
I'm looking at it in Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Are we talking about the same movie? Goodbye, Christopher Robin?
No.
Just Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin.
Sorry.
And it's got some great voice acting talent. It's got Peter Capaldi.
I
and,
did Stranger
Toby
Than
Jones.
Fiction. He did I did Finding Neverland. I love those movies.
Yeah, I like them.
I don't like World War Z, sorry.
The film is technically fine.
Yeah.
And when you hear Pooh's voice, particularly in the trailer, I cried. I cried.
Is it it's original?
It's the original Pooh voice.
Yeah,
so it's the Pooh voice you would have heard in the cartoon if you watched it when you were a kid.
Yeah.
He says, because
Didn't we just find out something about that guy?
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah.
Why you got to do this to me, universe? Why is everybody shit?
Rip Torn died today as well.
Correct.
Yeah, R.I.P. Rip Torn.
Rip.
Patches over there. We were just talking. Oh, God. We were just talking about. I swear it came up a couple of weeks ago and we were like, no, he's still alive. He's still kicking on. He's fine.
Does he feature in Men in Black International? Or MIB International?
I have no idea.
No, I don't know either.
Yeah, because I've watched all 3 Men in Blacks just recently, because obviously I won't see MIB International until it's streamable. That's my rule. But the first 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah. First one
He's in
holds
all
up.
of them?
He's in all of them. He's Zed.
Torn, he's Zed.
Yeah.
Okay.
J, K, and Z. They carry across, and Frank. Jesus. And the Worm guys. They're in all of them.
Tice, what did you watch this week?
I watched a little kind of like an independent horror sci-fi movie called The Endless.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone's heard of this one.
No.
Popped up on a few lists last year, like best horror of the year, what you should be watching, all this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I was very interested in it. It's directed by these 2 guys who also star in this one.
Mm-hmm.
It's their 3rd movie, I want to say. I'll just double check their name. Justin Moorhead and Aaron Moorhead and Justin Benson. Yeah, and they've built a little bit of a reputation up over the last couple of years of doing really kind of thoughtful, strangely kind of deep sci-fi horror stuff.
Yeah.
They released a movie called Spring a couple of years ago, which is a weird kind of. I've heard it's really kind of messed up. It's a love story, but maybe perhaps one of them is like a H.P. Lovecraftian style monster, and a movie called Resolution, which after watching The Endless I discovered is actually worth watching before you watch The Endless, because there are some themes and beats that are similar. And it apparently, when I was watching it in my head, I was like, Hank, because I'd seen the trailer for Resolution a couple of times and I recognized it, and some things started happening in the movie and I was like, oh, am I feel like this is really familiar. And upon a read later, I did find out that, yes, it's designed that way and it's better to watch. You should watch this other movie first before you watch The Endless. The Endless is about a couple of guys who escaped a weird religious cult when they were young.
So they were born into the cult?
They were found near... So they had a car accident with their mother who passed away nearby, and the people in the cult basically adopted them. Right. But then they were never really quite sure was it a cult or was it just like a community? Mm-hmm. Like there was some weird things that happened, but it was never like no one was drinking Kool-Aid, no one was worshipping like a deity or anything like that. It was just a bit of an odd kind of setup, and it felt a bit icky. And when they were old enough, they left. But since then, their life has sucked. And so one of them specifically is like, I want to go back. I just want to see what I'm missing out on. Because, yes, I'm glad to be out, but I am deeply unhappy, and the only happy memories I have are back there. So can we go back for a night, him and his brother? And he's like, all right, if this is what you need so we can find some closure, we're going to go back. And so they go back. And nothing is...
Did you say that this is a horror element?
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
And so nothing is as it seems, basically, once they get back there. It was outstanding.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it's really, really fascinating. It's low budget, and it takes a little while to adjust to their aesthetic. They're really great at pointing a camera, but I don't think they've gotten there. Whoever shot it, like the cinematography, the lighting, the set direction and stuff is it feels a little bit on the cheaper side. It's going to take a little while to them.
First film or third film? Yeah, sure.
Apparently, the next film that they're working on is quite higher budget. It's got Anthony Mackie in it. It's another sci-fi horror-y kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So they're working their way up. But I was just the ideas in the movie and the kind of ambition of this, because they would have made it for fuck all money too, and it's so hugely ambitious. Terrifying in those ways that not all typical horror is. It's terrifying in a way that really kind of seeps under your skin. Yeah, there's no like big scares. It's the concepts that scare you, the ideas, and the real kind of making peace with what the movie gives you as a possibility.
Yeah.
Wow. Really,
that sounds really good.
Really interesting.
And because I know both of you. Edge, what do you think? You're going to watch that one?
No.
Because I know for a fact that you both don't like horror movies. Tice, you're warming to them a lot more now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have an almost blanket rule.
Of just no horror?
I generally will read synopses.
Right.
Because now, for example, I will for this one because I need to know what happens.
I would read the synopsis for the other one first, and then read the synopsis for this one.
Yeah, I checked both out on Letterboxd when you first mentioned it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely read exactly what happens. It's a little bit like looking under your bed when you're a kid.
Sure.
I need to know what happens.
I've read some Wikipedia plot synopsis of movies that I'm like, you know what?
I'm never going to watch
I just don't think I'm ever going to watch that movie. But I'd like to know what would happen.
Yep.
Really?
Human Centipede, for example, was one.
Oh, yeah.
And two.
Yeah.
I just needed to know.
Fucking hell, too. Jesus
I needed to know what the situation was around this. I wish I had not, truthfully.
I
don't feel enriched for knowing what happens.
I've watched both of them, and as I look at how to shoot that topic, one is almost it takes a funny spin because the mad scientist is the sort that cackles at lightning. So, and they don't, the camera, what they do is quite clever, is they don't show anything. So the camera moves so that you're not really seeing much, but it'll shoot it from here. I've got my hands up to my cheeks. So that you're not seeing what's happening on the other side. Then you get the long shot at the end, and then that's it. That's the first one. The second one goes, okay, now that you've had that, we're going to show you everything.
Yeah.
Which is where, even for me, I was like, I'm going to lose my lunch. This is fucking full on.
Yeah, even the Wikipedia article was grisly.
Yeah, it was full on.
I love when I'm reading a Wikipedia summary for like a horror movie that I don't know the characters' names, and you've only got that one reference point where it says this character's name and then the actor. And so at that point you go, okay, cool. And then at the bottom of the paragraph, it's like, Angela murders David by stabbing him through the eyeball, and then David's eyeball crawls over to James, and James, devours this, and you're like, I actually have no idea what's going on anymore, but it sounds fucking like I don't really need to say it, so it's fine.
Wow.
What did you watch, Nick?
I went back in time and I watched the movie that I used to watch quite a bit before I worked at the video store. So I would go. Mum would drop me off. I'd get 5 movies for 5 weeklies for $5, and this would be one of them. It was Jesus, what was the year? It was 1991's The Hard Way, which is yep. It's a
James
no
Woods
one's seen this. Yep, and Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
It's a buddy cop movie, but and you can tell that they're literally just pulling from Lethal Weapon or any of these movies that they can get a hold of. I used to watch because I'm a massive Michael J. Fox fan, and still am. I'm very sad of what's happened to that man. But this was I shouldn't have watched it. I really should have just left it
hold up.
in the past with my childhood going, God, that was a fucking good movie.
Yep.
There were moments of this that I'm like, you can't say that. You're not allowed to do these things.
No, there's going to be a lot of that now.
No, not only that, but it was just bad. It was just bad. And I thought that like the director's name, his name is John Bad Ham. And it came up with Bad Ham Productions. I'm like, are you doing this as a funny thing? Is this funny? But no, Bad Ham has actually done a lot of movies.
Yeah, I like some of his stuff.
Short Circuit. There's my God, he's done tons of stuff.
Short Circuit is great.
War Games, John Badham.
War Games. He's done Saturday Night Fever. He did Nick of Time, which I've heard is really good.
Nick of Time. Which one's Nick of Time?
It's the Johnny Depp real-time movie.
Okay. No, I'm thinking of About Time.
Yeah. Which I love.
Charming. Domhnall Gleeson. Bill Nighy.
Bird on a Wire. He did. Remember that? Was it Bridget Fonda, the assassin, where she's on the cover with the gun?
That's the one.
Like, I thought that was really good. So he does good movies.
Stakeout.
Yeah. It was a bit of fluff.
So rewatching this was a little bit like Googling James Woods now.
I was about to say, yeah.
This is twice now we've brought up James
When
Woods.
you're watching it, can you tell that he's human garbage?
Yeah. You're just like, this is...
or maybe at that time, the suit, the human suit, sort of was quite still... it's worn out now, but...
Yeah.
It's like when you're watching Vampires and those bits where he's beating around that girl and you're like, I used to think you were acting.
Yeah.
You're probably just really enjoying
this is really method.
Yeah. So the hilariously enough, the storyline of The Hard Way is Michael J. Fox's sort of Hollywood... bigwig who's very method. So he wants to. There's a part that he wants to get, and it's hilarious that they keep saying. And Mel Gibson wants to get it as well because Mel Gibson was big back then. And so he wants to follow around a cop, and the cop is James Woods.
Yep.
But James Woods is on the hunt for this. What do they call him? What is the killer called? It's such a stupid fucking name. So he just rocks up this killer and just kills people. And
as killers do,
and they're on the hunt for him, but he does it in public. So it's so fucking the Party Crasher, and the Party Crasher is played by Stephen Lang.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, who is actually really quite scary in this. Like I remember him being like he's just that weird person.
Just channeling some of his "Don't Breathe" material. Later.
Exactly. Yeah. But God, it was funny. It was so funny. It was funny because of Michael J. Fox. But yeah, that was it. I will never ever watch this again. Jesus,
what a bummer.
Christ.
But
yeah.
I mean,
but that's the thing. You go back in time, you watch these things, and sometimes they bite you.
We're gambling with our memories every time we try something like that, and sometimes we win, sometimes we lose.
Which is why I've still never watched. What is the Blu-ray that I have? The Last Starfighter.
You're safe. You are
that.
safe with that. I give you my seal of approval. No.
Man.
Last Starfighter is a 100% good movie.
It's a win.
Yeah. We were talking about this with Wild Wild West. You said you'd rewatched it, and I said, I remember how much I loved that movie. And you said, don't rewatch it. And I haven't. I'm just going to keep that happy memory.
You just hold on to that. You hold on to it with both hands.
Hold on to it. Jesus, because it's just, I won't spoil it.
All right, well, I think that's going to wrap us up, gentlemen.
Yeah. No, we're going to do one last thing.
What else do we want to do?
We're going to do something that we always do with our special guest.
With our special guest.
Which is called... we have the...
we do it.
Guest.
You got a soundbite?
We don't.
We
wished.
Guest.
We just do it ourselves.
We just do it ourselves.
This is what we do here.
Such a great...
When's the last time you sent me this...
guitar riff.
I've got it. I've got it highlighted, which is good.
So, Grilling the Guest. So, Edge, we're about to give you... You might be aware of the game.
I feel like I remember it from when you had Adam on.
Very good, yes.
Okay.
But I don't remember the specifics.
Very good. Well, we have a series of would-you-rather style questions.
Yeah.
where
Quick fire round.
It's quick fire.
It's
okay.
quick fire round. You have no time to think. It needs to be the
Off the cuff.
instinctual reaction to these two choices that you are presented with.
Or possibly three.
Or possibly three. We put a
50%
little
more
bomb
difficult.
noise.
We do.
Ticking time bomb noise underneath to add to the tension.
Oh, wow. Dramatic.
I know,
Here we
it's
go.
super dramatic.
It's so good.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We're going to start grilling the guest in 3, 2, 1.
Scorsese or Spielberg?
Spielberg.
Alien or Predator?
Alien.
Stallone or Schwarzenegger?
Stallone.
Lion King or Beauty and the Beast?
Lion King.
Judi Dench or Helen Mirren?
Judi Dench.
Burton's Batman or Donna's Superman?
Donna Superman.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
Wars.
Oh.
Replicant or not a replicant?
Replicant.
Oh, Gene Kelly or Fred Astaire?
Gene Kelly.
Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers?
Michael Myers.
Wow.
Because he's the most scary of the three for me.
Okay.
Pacino or De Niro?
Pacino.
Labyrinth or The Dark Crystal?
Labyrinth.
DC or Marvel?
Marvel.
Bill Pullman or Bill Paxton?
Pullman.
Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Yeah!
That's the last question. Seriously?
Iron Man.
You're signing the Accords? You're signing the Accords.
Look, unfortunately, I am.
Oh, what the hell is with this?
Yeah, I'm a fix it from inside guy.
Wow. Okay.
The progress is always good, and that
Okay.
yeah, better is always good enough. Improvement towards what we want is still worth it, even if it's not the step we want. Half a step is better than no step.
I'm not signing the Accords. You can't make me.
No, we can't make you. We can't make you. But also in Civil War 2, Team Iron Man has Captain Marvel on it. So sorry.
That's true. That's true.
Gonna go
Just go real in here. Where does that was
It's a
a
bit
heartfelt moment, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
I got to go with Carol.
Any of those questions that stick out, Edge, that you want to maybe drop back on? Just quickly?
Some of them, I think I went with my gut was like going with Myers because of the three, I'm actually frightened of Michael Myers.
Really?
Legitimately frightened of Michael Myers.
I found it like comforting that the one that probably took you the longest to figure out was Judi Dench or Helen Mirren.
Yeah.
You were really
That
like
was
struggling
long.
with
That's
that.
because that's
Like,
a hard one.
it's
They're both
hard.
great ladies,
Yeah.
but Dame Judi Dench,
Just maybe takes the cake.
Goldeneye,
Come on.
Skyfall.
Yeah,
Skyfall.
look, M. She does.
She's M. It was purely for M.
Yeah.
I was going to give it to Helen Mirren and then
She's so good.
remembered M.
She's so
I had to flip it back.
You can't bring it back to
And-
Helen Mirren doing Reds. It doesn't.
No, it
Listen,
doesn't have the same.
DC Marvel was too easy because I love movies so much, and Marvel has better movies. And it's
It doesn't have to be movies. It can be anything. It can be
I
comics.
love the characters in DC with all of my heart,
Yeah.
but the movies have
You're right.
tainted them.
Yeah, they have.
That's the problem.
They really
if you only factor the animated stuff, including the animated films, DC has they're on a pretty high strike rate.
Yeah, leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I mean,
Just the Batman the Animated Series on its own.
yeah,
like weeks.
exactly.
There's no-
Hamill's Joker. I practice that in my car because it's such a good voice.
Nice.
So good.
It's so
I
good.
like it.
Yeah, anything Hamill does, I try and copy just because he's a really good voice actor.
He is. He is really good.
And I can always see how he pulls his face in my head when I'm doing it. So it helps. How someone pulls their face when they do an accent helps you
true.
do the accent. Can't do Heath Ledger's Joker without licking your face.
That's true.
That's part of it. It was a practical thing as well. He had to keep licking the prosthetic to keep it in place.
Oh, really?
So he just made it a tick of the character. That's acting.
That's so good.
It's acting.
You know it.
Edge, it's been a pleasure.
Absolutely,
it has. It's
man.
so much fun. Thank you for having me.
Remind
on.
the people at home where they can find your show.
My show's called Film Bants, and it comes out fortnightly on the iTunes and the other places we can get
Other
podcasts. We're
All
on
those places.
We're on everything. We've got socials as well.
Nice.
We do our best work on Instagram, if I'm honest, because I take care of the Facebook.
I love it.
But we do well on Instagram, I think.
Awesome.
And little trailers and stuff. And yeah, you can find me on the Letterboxd if you want to see which Spider-Man movie I've watched that day. Just a bit.
Lovely.
Awesome.
Well, that's it, Tice.
Yeah, that's going to wrap us up, Nicholas.
Thanks for listening to us, ladies and gentlemen.
We got any ideas for next week?
No. Look at the socials.
We'll get
You'll
back to
find
you.
out.
We'll get back to you. You can find us, of course, on all our social media platforms as well.
Yep.
If you want to jump onto the Apple Podcasts app and then maybe chuck us a rating or a review.
It's true.
Something like that.
We'd love you for it. We'll give you a hug.
We will give you
Or a beer,
an
if that's what you
e-hug.
want to. An e-hug.
So we don't have to touch
I
anybody.
hate e-hugs. But that's it.
That's going to wrap us up.
That was fun.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Bye, Ed. Bye.